welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Is it
this
the most
week with
obnoxious
50%
start?
more false enthuseasm?
Total enthusiasm.
I'm really tired.
Why are you tired?
I don't know.
Oh, TX, wah.
No, I had a garage sale this weekend, and yeah,
Why?
it fucking wrecked me.
Wow.
Why?
You had to deal with so many people.
I was going to say that involves two things that Gus hates: organization and dealing with other people.
It was a fucking
have the
nightmare.
internet.
I said, let's just throw it all away.
Why didn't you?
Because my wife said we should have a garage sale.
What was the biggest item that you sold? What was the highest dollar item?
We sold, okay. So I learned what a satay is. Apparently there's been a satay in my house for years and I didn't know it.
What is
What
a
is
satay?
it?
What is that? Gavin, what is a satay?
I don't know what a satay is.
You do? Or you don't?
What is that?
Satay, as far as I know, is meat on a stick.
No, that's S-A-T-A-Y.
Oh.
This is S-E-T-T-E.
A seti.
Steady?
Satay? It's like a couch.
Yes.
Well, you said satay, which is wrong.
Which
How do you
is
say
meat
it?
on a stick.
Settee.
Satay?
Yeah.
I've had a satay. I don't even know what this fucking word is. I haven't had one in my
divan.
house.
You sit on it.
A
It's called a
divan.
city.
Satay.
That was the biggest ticket.
Me
That
on
was
a
the biggest ticket item.
And how much did that go for?
S-E-T-T-E, $100.
So you spent your whole day getting people in, and the most amount of money you made at any one point is $100.
Yeah, and we barely made more than that.
It's
That
better than
seems-
$0.
It is-
Yeah,
of
but
course it's better
I
than
woke up
$0.
at
I
fucking
would pay-
6:30 a.m. on a Sunday.
I would pay someone $100 just to get rid of all the crap.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
why?
it is cool that people pay you to take away your junk. That's the coolest thing about a garage sale.
Yes.
It's like if the garbage man was like, knocked on your door, was like, here's $5. I'm going to take away your garbage.
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, you're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
so
but you don't have to wake up at, well, yeah.
But it's not that. The thing here is that Gus hates interacting with people
Yeah.
and people he doesn't know and people he doesn't know who probably read about this on Craigslist.
right.
This is like awful.
It's
That's the Venn
awful.
diagram
So
of
what I did was
horrible.
I tried to like make the posting on Craigslist like one of those crazy postings, so that people who read it, like normal garage sale people, wouldn't come, so I wouldn't have to deal with them.
What did
Like
you
I would
write?
know only crazy people would come, and I wouldn't have to talk to them because they're crazy.
You know, this is, I'm going to come back to this in a second because this is how much you've changed. But think about this. Think about something you would hate to do. Is $100 enough to make you do it?
No.
Like something you'd hate. Like I can't think of something I hate as much as Gus hates interacting with other people.
I wouldn't do it for 100.
Yeah.
Would you touch wet bread for $100?
No.
I would not help somebody move if they said, I'll give you $100. I would be like, I don't want that.
No, that's the worst.
Yeah.
That is
Helping
the
other people
worst
move?
thing people could ask you to do.
That's part of the reason I'm having to have this garage sale because I'm moving.
Helping people move is okay. Helping people pack is way worse.
No, helping people move is the
I
worst.
really
because
Have you ever
wanna-
shown
everybody
up to
is
help somebody
grumpy.
move and they haven't packed yet? You're like, what the fuck are you doing? I came to pick up boxes, not shove your shit in a box.
Well, then you don't have to care. You just like literally just break everything. Be like, all right, here's your plate shards are in this box. Most of your glass shards are here. Some of them are over there.
Bunch of fucking chuck plates.
I hired movers to move recently, and they moved my couch. And I never want to use that couch again.
Why?
They sweat all over it. It was just
Isn't it
dripping off
leather?
them. Yeah.
Just clean that.
So just wipe
Ah,
it.
it's all down the arms and like all.
No
it was
way.
It was like someone dipped him in a water tank on
Boo-hoo.
the sides and then put it back in my.
So
living
when you
room.
got your couch, you did have the big like wet areas.
Yeah, and where it's dried is all. It looks like it's wet because it's still got that sheen on it, that sweat sheen.
Movers almost every single time will fuck something up in a huge way.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh. Yeah, sorry.
They
happens.
fucking my
Yeah.
shit up.
I got a big scratch down one of my TVs when I moved. I was just like, you guys gonna do anything about this? They're like, we think it was scratched when we showed up. I was like, that's not at all the case. I
All your
guarantee.
shit's fucked up when they got there.
Oh yeah, it was all completely fucked up. Dent
your
in the
fault.
fridge, all that stuff.
And the guys that delivered our bed, while they were doing that, I found a weird piece of plastic in one of the other rooms. I was like, what's that about?
Like
and later we realized that they knocked off the doorbell cover, which is somewhere on the stairs, and just gone, just lobbed it in one of the rooms.
Oh, it's like a solid piece of plastic.
Yeah, it was the
Fuck.
thing that covers the bell in the doorbell.
The
And
actual
it's-
chime
It was
itself.
like in the middle of the stairs.
They
is where
probably
it
just
was.
didn't know what it was legitimately. And
Brother,
they
just like you, like,
bashed
what
it
the
off.
fuck is this thing?
My doorbell in my house doesn't work, and I have no idea when I would get around to fixing that fucking problem.
Mine doesn't work either.
It doesn't work either? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to know when people are at my front door. If I'm having a party, just leave it unlocked and people come in now. That's it.
yeah.
Knock and come in.
Knocking on someone's door isn't something you do these days, I don't think. Like you,
Yeah, it is.
I used to. I mean, I would go and
You mean
play
you-
with my friends,
Yeah.
and not have a seizure. I'd play with my friends, and I just go and knock on the door and see if they're about. I would never do that now. Can you imagine if I just came and knocked on your door? I was like, "What are you doing?"
Do you knock on Michael's door when you go over? Or do you just walk
Well,
in?
he knows I'm coming. Is my point. I would never just show up and knock on the door.
Oh.
You would
The
never go to a
actual act
stranger's
of-
house. When was the last time you knocked on the door of a stranger's house?
Ooh, probably when my football went over the fence when I was like 8.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I knocked on a stranger's door.
I remember having to do it. I was dumb enough to pick up a job during one of the summers I was off from college.
Yeah?
Where we'd go door to door offering people car washing services.
How'd that go?
It was the most, and Gus probably knows this feeling, most anxiety. Like, I hate that. I hate having to knock on people
I've done
and
stuff like
sell
that
them
before.
something.
I've
People
done
are
that before.
mean, especially when they're on their own property.
Yes.
Because it's theirs, and it's like you're invading the only place that they have.
This company just hired girls, though, to do that.
Really?
And I think it was smart. Because people actually listen to you.
They might think you guys were going to wash the cars, too.
We actually did.
You did?
Yeah, I washed cars one summer.
This is when you were in college, really. That seems like a high school job to me, but I guess, how'd you do? Did you make out okay on that?
No.
Really?
I made like $25 a week or something like that.
Yeah. They didn't like bust you to neighborhoods, do they? Drop you off?
No.
That kind of thing? So
No.
you were on your own?
It was a friend of mine who started this company.
Oh, I
The
see.
service, should I say.
This sounds like a whole setup. I'm waiting for the other part of the story to drop.
We also washed them in bikinis. No, I'm just kidding.
So you said how people are mean, on their own property.
Yeah.
I have a bay window in my dining room. I regularly open up the curtains and I stand there and I look out in my yard and I just say, "Get off my property." And my wife will be like, "Who are you talking to?" And I'm just like, "Everyone."
Are you talking to the
I'm like,
squirrel?
no, but there's not even anybody there. Just like in general, I'm just like, "Get off my property." Just like, whatever, just so people know, don't be on there.
You have to
really
say it
weird.
occasionally just in case someone you don't see is on it. Like when they put up no trespassing signs.
Yeah.
They're not directed at anybody in particular. It's just like when the person
Just so you
shows
know.
up,
You're
it was
Do
posted.
you have like weird fantasy, or like if someone does walk up, are you like, yes,
Man.
I've been
take
waiting
one
for
more
this
step,
moment.
get off.
We read a story. Gus and I read a story about a couple in, was it Montana or North Dakota? Of a traditionally rural part of America. Rural. Where they set up a
word is
purse. They
great.
put a purse in the garage and
They left the garage door
they
open.
left the garage door open with the purse in plain view. And it was a German exchange student, I think, came into the garage to mess with the purse, and they came out and shot the guy. Like they set a trap, and they were just waiting to shoot people.
Yeah, they were like right behind the door watching with
Holy
guns,
shit.
waiting to be able to shoot someone.
Yeah. It was like, and they thought that was totally okay, like legal. It's like, well, he came on our property. It's like you entice the person to come
Jesus.
on the property, and then they shot the guy.
Let me give you an example of Canada compared to that. One time we left our garage door open at night, all night,
Yeah.
and we had bicycles in there, we had sports equipment, we had 2 cars in there, everything. The only thing that was stolen was the change out of the car. Like, the little pocket where the change is?
Really?
That was the only thing. It was probably like 70 cents worth.
And they left an IOU note, which is really weird.
Man, you're
They
reminding
left
me.
us $10. They just
No,
needed
it
change.
said, sorry, please.
You ever have something like in a house or an office, like somewhere that you are regularly, and it's like one thing that bugs the shit out of you, and you're just like, I'm just gonna. And then when you eventually solve that problem, like your doorbell, it took you 5 minutes, but you looked at it for like 6 months, and you're like, ah, fuck this.
Yes.
Yes.
There have been problems that take minutes to fix that I've sat on for years because it's just inconvenient. The figuring out the spacing, it's like when you're editing in Final Cut. You're trying to slot something in somewhere, and you're like, I'm gonna have to cut something here. It's like that. It's like I'm never gonna just fit this in.
No.
It's never gonna happen.
Never gonna work it out.
Yeah.
My thing that I actually spent the most amount of time on, and I could never solve the problem, was your garage door. If you have an automatic garage door opener, there's a beam.
Yeah.
That goes across the bottom in case a little kid or a cat runs through, so it doesn't like whack and squish the cat or the kid, right?
Mush, mush, mush.
Yeah, it's got a beam. So you can break the beam and it makes the garage door go back up. I had one in my house, the house where I did the test for immersion.
Laser beam,
It's a beam.
like wood beam or laser beam.
No, it's like a laser beam, like a light beam. I wouldn't
light
say a
beam,
laser
yeah.
Okay,
beam.
I was thinking of a piece
It's like
of wood. and
$100
It's a
garage door
sensor.
opener.
Yeah.
It's a sensor.
I was thinking of a piece of wood. And I was like, why would you break that? To get
No.
it?
So this,
Safety.
about 3 months a year, this one beam was in such a way that when the sun was setting, like after 4 o'clock, the sun would hit that beam and it would like make it so I couldn't see the other side of the garage.
yeah.
Dude, I put up like shades on it. I could never get that thing to do it. So like every year for 3 months, I couldn't shut my garage door after 4 o'clock and until 9 o'clock at night.
Just imagine this poor beam at like 4 o'clock every day, like
Just going blind.
Just like trying to close each time.
It was horrible.
Like before I put my house on the market, it was the same kind of thing. Like for years, I've had like these 3 minor issues with my house. I was like, it's such a pain in the ass. I want to deal with it. I'll just, I'll get around it, whatever. I'll make do with it. Finally, before I put my house on the market, I was like, I got to hire a handyman. Got to have someone come out and fix this. It took him 30 minutes and cost me $50.
Yep.
It was like, I've been living with these problems for 4 fucking years.
What problems were there?
It was like I had a light switch that was loose.
Always the worst.
I had like a electrical outlet that like needed to have a new box, so it was flush in the wall.
By both these problems, I've been putting up with for a year now.
And then one of my like can lights that was in the ceiling had like kind of fallen a little bit, and it needed to be reset, and I couldn't do it. The dude showed up. He only had one hand. It took him 30 minutes, and it cost me $50.
Wait, he was missing
He was
a
missing
hand?
one hand. Yeah. It was
Well,
like,
Barbara, he's not a handsy man. He's a handy man. Singular. Thanks, buddy. There we go.
there
Thank
you
you.
go. And I was
I'm
like,
just thinking about The Sims. Like, he shows up, the little green bar goes like this, and then he's like, see ya. And
Yeah.
you're like, cha-ching.
You just have to read a book to get the knowledge that
Money
he
just
has.
disappears from your head.
I think about that all the time whenever when I hire somebody at the house. Like, you were talking about now that you own a house and all the things you're going to have to do. And I was just thinking, like, yeah, that's going to cost, like, I was just thinking about you running your house like a Sims household. It's amazing. They should build better economics into The Sims so that people actually learn that kind of stuff. Because I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not. In America, at our high school level education, and there's probably some states where it's different, but in most places, we don't teach people as part of our normal, like, required curriculum. We don't teach people about personal finance, which in the most capitalist country in the world, that is ridiculous to me.
absolutely
What
ridiculous.
about like savings and stuff?
We teach people about algebra, geometry, so you can figure out how fast you can fill up a pool. Like, in case you have another hose draining it out, you can figure out like how long. Just that scenario. I always want to do that geometry problem and say I would just shut off the hose that's draining.
I've got a cork.
That's draining the pool because it's the most wasteful thing ever. But yeah, and then we have algebra 2. That's the way and then we go into pre-calculus and calculus. Nowhere is personal finance.
Like balancing a checkbook or
Or a mortgage.
interest rates. Right.
Yeah. The American dream is to own a house.
Everyone should go to business school. I learned all that in business school.
You went to business school?
Yeah, I have my degree in marketing.
Business.
Oh, so you were talking about college.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about in
everyone-
high school.
everyone-
Oh, you mean like basic high school
Yeah.
education?
Yeah, I mean, balancing
Yeah.
a checkbook, which is, I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, but just like a ledger
Yeah.
or calculating interest, because everybody has a credit card. You should understand what interest does to you while you're asleep.
Even Brandon, who was recently talking about, trying to figure out, he says one day he wants to buy a house, and he comes to us with questions like, what is escrow?
Yeah.
Or, what do these words mean? He's like, this is someone with a college degree.
Yeah. How do taxes work?
Right.
That's
In film.
I was amazed. There was this pop group in the UK it was a reality show called, I think it was called Pop Stars. It was before Pop Idol and American Idol. And
I
all that
watched
stuff.
Pop Stars.
Yeah, it was the very first one.
Pop-Tarts?
The band was formed, and they made all this money. I think one of them made like 1.8 million pounds or something
Wow.
in the
It's in the
first year.
Pussycat Dolls now, right?
I have no idea. They sucked.
Yeah.
She bought like cars and a house, like spent most of her money, and then they were like, "All right, but you owe tax on that." You realize, and she was like, "Oh, God," and went bankrupt.
It happens to a lot of people.
Don't realize you got to pay tax. Who doesn't know you got to pay tax?
People don't realize when they're used to getting paychecks and it's taken out with withholding, they never see it. There's a lot of people who don't know how much goes
Right.
to taxes. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I think a lot of people are aware that YouTube takes a significant portion of ad revenue.
Yeah.
And there's
Hefty
some
chunk.
people who get their check and YouTube has already taken it out. There's other people who are at a level where they have to write that check to YouTube. That's two totally different experiences. Having your amount and fees withheld and then getting the amount and going, oh, let me write this check back to you. That's a totally different
Why are you
experience.
writing it back to YouTube?
Some people if you place an ad on YouTube, you have to pay them that same amount.
Like if YouTube doesn't sell the ad and you sell the ad.
Right. If you sell your own ads.
Oh,
Have we done both?
Yeah, we placed our own ads before. Yeah. And then as you do that, you could cut that amount to YouTube.
but yeah,
That's-
I much prefer having my tax taken at source. It's much easier to pay money that you never had than hold on to a bunch of money and then pay it all at once in one lump.
But if you hold on to your money and then pay it at the end of the year, which you can't really do with taxes anyway, to pay quarterly, then you would actually you could potentially make more money with it.
With the interest?
Yeah, with the interest or with...
I pay
know.
once a year.
You pay once a year?
Yeah.
To the UK, like your set amount? In America, when you get to that level...
Pay the UK, do you?
For stuff I earn in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yours has got to be confusing as hell. What is tax day in the UK?
5th of April is the last day. I think 6th of April is the first day of the tax year.
Yeah? Yeah, in the
And
US,
then
it's
and then it's
April
due-
15th-ish.
I think
It's-
it's May 15th in Canada.
Your tax return is then due the following 31st of January. So you have like 9 months or 10 months to do it.
So you have to pay what you think you owe and then actually fill out all the numbers and the spreadsheets and turn it in later.
Or you don't have to pay until you do the tax return. You can pay then too.
Okay, so walk me through this. Let's say
Okay,
it's 2014.
Okay, so April of this year, my
April
tax
2014
year ended. I owe that money by January 31st. of next
So
year.
your tax year literally runs April to April?
Yeah.
And
Oh.
you don't have to pay till January?
Well, I've been. It's hard for me because my tax year moved and then it moved back, and then I pay predictive, and then it gets reset. I don't
Yeah,
know.
predictive. That's
Yeah.
estimated.
But
So
I
in the
don't-
U.S., it's called estimated quarterly taxes.
Yeah, but I don't think I owe it until January.
We'll find out
You
very
pay-
quickly.
So you pay it without owing it, is what I'm hearing. You pay predictive taxes without owing it.
Yeah.
Okay, that made a lot of sense.
Are you-
I understand perfectly now.
Are you still a resident in the UK?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to still pay taxes on your income that you make in the States in the UK? Is that the law there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
It's
sure,
the law
I'm
in
sure you have very
Canada.
professional people that
I
help
have an
you do
accountant
this.
in one
you
country
go.
and an accountant in the other one.
I had to
Between them,
become-
they've got it sorted.
I had to become a non-resident of Canada, so I didn't have to pay tax anymore.
I believe that. I found out. I know some guys live in Sweden and they pay up to 60% income tax.
Wow.
That would be crazy.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money to pay. That's a lot of money to pay.
You were talking about confusing things, and it made me think about this video I saw over the weekend on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you watched it, but it was an explanation, or it was a video that talked about the most confusing international borders in the world. And there's a region
Only you guess.
where Belgium and the Netherlands share, they call them enclaves and exclaves. Like
What?
parts of Netherlands are in Belgium and parts of Belgium are in the Netherlands.
Really?
And there's like, they show pictures of this town
Work that shit out.
that has literally like tiles and lines all through it showing if you're in the Belgium or if you're in the Netherlands. And houses, some houses need 2 addresses, one for each country.
Oh Christ!
Because I guess they determine what country your house, because the line, the border runs through businesses and through houses.
No, it
so they
shouldn't do that.
determine the country your house is in is where your front door is.
What?
So there was one guy who, and before 1995, I guess like they had a general idea of where the border was, but in 1995 they did an exact survey, and this one guy who thought he was a Belgian dude living in Belgium discovered he was a Belgian dude living in the Netherlands, but he didn't want to have to go through the whole process of like changing his tax forms and going through all of that. So he walled up his front door and moved it down the road.
Oh my god.
In his house, so that his house was then in Belgium.
Holy crap!
That is the most ridiculous thing.
And they had pictures of this one house. That's what it looks like. They have pictures of this one house where the border runs right to the door. And the door has 2 addresses. One with a little Belgian flag and the other one with a little Dutch flag.
I wonder if
Wow.
the tax amounts are different there. Like,
I'm sure
Could,
it
could you be
is.
like, I was stood in the kitchen when I earned that money?
And they said before the euro, it was way more confusing because it was different currencies.
Was Belgium on francs?
I don't know what they were using.
What
And
other-
What was Dutch? The kroner? I
No,
guess.
it was Swedish.
Yeah. What is Dutch?
I don't know.
No,
That's
it's got
a
a funny
shirt.
name, like the schloopel or something. I'm gonna look at what
The
the.
Schmorgen
It was like an 11 or 12 minute.
I'm kind of sad that
long video.
we've lost those things.
All the
Yeah, I
currencies.
wish we had the different currencies.
Yeah.
But
like the Deutschmark.
the most confusing,
Lira.
that was the most confusing border I thought. But the strangest border was there's these 2 islands. They're 4 kilometers apart, which is about 2.4 miles. They're separated by 23 hours because the international date line runs between them.
The Gilder. The Dutch Gilder.
Oh, the Dutch
Sorry,
Gilder.
go ahead.
So
Wait, say that again.
there's 2 islands.
Right.
They're 4 kilometers apart, which is about 2.4 miles.
Okay.
They're 23 hours time difference, though, because the international date line runs between them.
Sure.
Isn't
So-
this exactly what we talked about once we got back from Australia and everyone thought I was chatting shite?
Shut
No,
the shite.
you weren't explaining it well. You're a very smart guy. Sometimes I was like, what? With the explanation part of it.
And that's
Well,
how
one
a
or
day
two-
can last so long on the calendar day can last so long on Earth.
Oh, because you could get a 40-hour day or whatever you were saying?
Yeah, it's like 48. It's like 50 hours or something.
Yeah, but the Kathleen and Matt worked on animation projects where they would outsource stuff to India. They said in India they have some time zones that are 15 minutes. I would shoot everybody if that was the case. I'm just like, well, everyone will be 15 minutes late everywhere you went. It's
Time
like,
zones.
Imagine trying to put a podcast on in one of those times.
no, oh God, no. Oh
I
God,
already have
no.
trouble trying to schedule conference calls as it is now with our hour time zones. I can't imagine a 15-minute time zone.
Yeah, I'll just hear Gus like clanking on his
I
keyboard.
get so
Oh,
confused with
time
time zones
zones.
because for some reason, it must be the way I signed up with my Google account, but every single Google Calendar placement I get alerts me to GMT. It's like, in big letters, it's like, here's your meeting at 9 p.m. It's like, what are you on? Oh, it's 3 p.m., I guess. But
Work that shit out.
like, why am I getting it at GMT? Who wants Surely Americans don't want their meetings at GMT.
God. In order to get my calendar, they wanted to hire someone who's going to work our front door. So who's going to be our front end person, and they want that person now to also be in charge of my calendar and Matt's calendar. So we're hiring a new office manager over in the bungalow in the administrative office, and they're also going to be the person who arranges, like, especially for me because I travel a lot. They were going to make sure my calendar was in sync with everybody else's, and we had to interview candidates, and I was going to have to like sit down with everybody we're interviewing for this position, and I showed up for the interview, and nobody was there, and so I finally texted everybody. I go, where's this interview we're doing for this person? And Yvonne goes, I don't know. He should be there. So she texted him and find out that his Google invite for the meeting, that he had it wrong and he had his calendar set to GMT. And she's like, do you want to reschedule? And I said, nope. I mean, that's literally what the guy is going to do.
He fucked up his own calendar.
He did. That's just like, sorry, nope.
So your calendar isn't set to GMT?
No, my calendar's set to Central Time.
Huh. GMT -5.
I actually have a huge problem with it because I spend about a third of my time in LA on Pacific Time. And so I get out there and it's like, all my meetings are set for Central Time, and then it adjusts when my calendar goes to Pacific Time. It adjusts my time for me of when the meeting is.
You would think that would be the way to do it.
You would think it would be, but it's not the way to do it.
Whatever local area you're in.
So it fucks with me a little bit.
I used to mess up my alarm so much. Back when I would travel for conventions for you guys, like if I flew to California or something, I'd be like, all right, I'm 2 hours behind, so I don't want to change the time on my phone, so I'll just put my alarm 2 hours back. And then it would be the wrong way. I always mess it up somehow. It's before iPhones.
Siri's been making me so mad lately. So fucking mad. Like I set my alarm for 7 a.m. I set my alarm for 7 a.m. and Siri goes, I'll do it right now. Let's see if she'll do it.
She won't do it.
She won't do it, but I'll try it right now. Set an alarm for 7 a.m.
Okay, your 7 a.m. alarm.
You're a bitch.
Worked great. I swear that happens every time you try to show.
I know, every time Siri like knows when I'm trying to make her look like a bitch.
She wants to look good on camera.
But her thing, I think maybe I deleted it, but she goes, you have 2 alarms for 7 a.m. Tap which one you want. It's like, I don't fucking care which one it is. And how did I end up with 2 alarms for 7 a.m.? What does that even mean?
I was actually impressed with Siri earlier today. I think I said, Siri, do a Google search for World Cup Group A. And it was like, here are all of today's matches, the results of today's matches, and here are tomorrow's matches. I was like, oh, that's pretty
decent.
cool, because that's what I was trying to get at.
The best thing I use Siri for is voice texting. Like if I'm driving and I need to text someone, it's amazing.
Here's the problem. Siri fucking loves proper nouns. She loves them. Like I'll say, are we going to go see the movie? Are we going to go see Dave movie? It's like, no, not David movie. It's like, who is that? And it like,
David movie?
And
of
even
the movie family?
It even capitalizes the M. It's like, and she loves like turning my normal words into proper names. So it's like, that was the worst possible interpretation of what I said. But I just sent it to you guys anyway.
I got a great one from you a few days ago.
I was going to say, you should read that one on the podcast.
I think my reply to you was, are you drunk?
That's what you wrote back. Yeah, you said, are you drunk?
Let's see.
You sent me one recently, I know, because it's.
I just don't give a shit.
I spoke to Martha and Nicole today. I'm like, who's Nicole?
How do you get it to speak it?
Can you do that?
No, you can't.
How did you do that?
Burnie texted me, Jimmy, this picture hangers, those book things.
I mean, there you go. Jimmy. It puts the word Jimmy in there.
Jimmy, this picture hangers. Those B-U-Q-U-E. I didn't Bouquet. Who the fuck would say that?
Right. Why does Siri translate everything I say into these weird proper nouns?
Maybe you have a slur.
This picture hangers. Those
Jimmy.
book things.
By the way, talking of hanging pictures, you should never be allowed to hang anything ever.
Why?
Ever.
Those gold play buttons, they were all over the gaff. You made a right mess of them.
No, I hung one.
Which one was it? The second one?
I hung both the first one and the second one, but I just hung them one at a time. I mean, really, here's what it comes down to.
Completely on the piss. I had to hang the third one.
They were all level. Your third one was garbage. Your third one was like... Your third one was like this. Like, here's one. Look. Here's mine. I hung this one like this. The other one was like this. It was off a little bit. Yours was like...
No. So one's like this, one's like this. Where do I put... What, do I line the first one or the second one?
Just line it up any of them and we'll straighten them out later.
One picture to 2 wrong pictures.
Didn't Paco fix them anyways?
Paco fixed them all anyway.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
And
also, Barb's are going, it's crooked. I'm like, here's the level. It's not crooked. She goes, it's crooked.
The
what
reason
level
it looked crooked.
Like iPhone level.
The iPhone one. It looked crooked because the play button inside the case is like, it goes out, so it makes it look like an illusion where it's not.
Did you take yours back? Or did
Yours
you
were right on the piss.
Mine were totally fine.
Right on the piss.
I saw those.
It was off like that much.
Before we hung them, they were there
And
on the
then
floor
by
for a
eyeball.
while, and I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna hang this in my office. So I picked up the Rooster Teeth play button and I was like, no, this is heavy. I put it back down. I was like, I don't want to fuck with that. I do not want to deal with this.
I was just trying to hang them for our guests that we had some visitors coming that day, and I just wanted to get them up on the wall. That was it. And it's like typical around here. The things you fucking sit up against the wall, nobody's doing anything, and this moment you do it, everyone's like, oh, it's all shitty. You know,
You sent that email. You were like, visitors in the morning, bringing your play button. So I was like, oh Christ, I don't know where that thing is on. I was like scrambling around to find hangers, and then it was just, it was like, ugh, done.
Yeah.
Because it was panicked.
You didn't find Jimmy those hangers?
Mine, when I put my iPhone on the top of it, was the only one that showed 0 degrees.
No, bullshit. What was mine?
-1, and the other one was +1.
No,
So it
it's
averages
fine.
out.
They
What's
were
the problem?
fine. They were fine. It's like, you know how you fix that is when you're holding it up there, kind of like with the iPhone, lift it a little bit. And then it fixes it. It's fine. It all works out
That
just fine.
iPhone level is bullshit anyway.
It's close enough.
It's fucking bullshit.
It's close
Using
enough.
the one in
It's
the-
so
in
close
the-
that it's -1, +1, 0.
What is 1 degree?
It's enough for Gavin to bitch about it.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. I also don't like that you have to fucking calibrate that thing all the time now when you use it.
Yeah,
Like
it's
over and
dumb.
over again. you
At
gotta
least,
calibrate.
it's not like a make this motion with your iPhone.
You
What,
had to
what
just
is
figure
the
it.
Too
what,
bad.
What does the compass inside?
A magnet? I totally guessed at that. I had it.
Is it a tiny magnet?
Probably has a compass in it. What's a compass? I mean, the compass is a thing.
So you say there's physically something in it that points north inside your phone?
And then you-
Yeah, they have Marco Polo in your phone. Right now, you're looking for the North Star.
They have Brandon arguing with you about what the North Pole is versus the magnetic South Pole.
Are you good at judging distance by eye?
Never. No. Terrible.
I'm good at
Do you
it.
know
We
how
are
far?
10 feet away.
I'm talking like, say I'm HEB and I'm looking at the water tower.
Nope. Quarter mile. I can't do it at all.
No, I'm
Do you know
terrible
how
at
far
that.
the horizon is?
No clue. I'm going to guess 58 miles.
No.
The
I
horizon?
think the horizon from ground level is 12 miles away.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
This coffee table isn't level, apparently.
is it?
It's 1 degree.
That's
Fuck-
fine.
Fucking bullshit.
Look at all your shit sliding off, too, because you're at 1 degree.
Here, I'm gonna read this.
No.
No,
You always ask that. What happens if I say no?
I didn't ask. I said here. I'm gonna read this.
You said let me read
I guess
this.
no.
it'd
I
take
said
you-
here. Playback.
Let him
No,
do
we
it.
don't have
Alright.
playback. I said here. I'm gonna read this.
How long does it take?
Shut up. You
to
probably
walk?
tried.
Is this thing on wheels, this whole thing that we're sat on?
Yeah, a little bit. Why?
Yeah.
So can we like just push it around? while
No.
What
It
happens?
takes 4 people to move the set.
I bet I can move it right now.
Yeah.
Or 2
for
people
it.
in Blaine.
Do it sitting down.
Blaine uses the stick. I think Patrick's like fooled him into thinking that actually works.
What's
it's,
the
just,
stick?
it's just Blaine with a big 2x4 going like this.
There's
We'll have
like-
to record it sometime. It's just bullshit.
You've never seen him move it?
No.
It's a big
I've
production.
recorded it for my own personal use.
They look like the monkeys at the beginning of 2001 figuring out how to use the bone to like. They're like was Blaine and Cole for a while. Where is Cole? I haven't seen him in a while.
I think
Cole?
He's
He's on
been
the
out on the
shoot.
shoot. So when I was having my garage sale over the weekend, I was
I want to come back to that too because you
it's
just
foaming up. I was standing in my driveway, and
tell everyone to leave your property.
I was to get off my property, and I kind of heard something, and then right over my head, like a foot or two, this giant hawk just flew right over me.
Really?
I was like, whoa, that was cool. And as I looked up, another one right over me, and they like landed in this tree like right across the street from my house. I was like, what the fuck? So now they've just been hanging out like for the past like 3 days, 4 days.
In your
Hawks have
tree.
landed.
There's just like 2 giant hawks, like not in my yard, but like right across the street. The great thing about that, hawks are these hawks are huge, right? It's kind of intimidating to look at them.
How big, like compared to your head?
Bigger, way bigger than my head. They're like bigger than that nature box, like their body. But
way to work it in.
so they're hey, we'll talk about the nature box later. So they look intimidating. They look scary. Like, man, I bet that hawk could fuck me up. The best thing about there being hawks now, right across the street from my house, there are no more grackles, no more doves, like no more pigeons, nothing. Every other like
No
shit bird
mice.
is just taken off. I saw them eating a squirrel yesterday.
I was gonna say, what about the
Oh.
squirrel in your tree that chases
They
you
were
and
eating
mocks
a
you?
squirrel. I don't know if it was the squirrel, but like I was like, what's that hawk doing on the ground? Is it hurt? Is like doing like that? I was like, oh no, it's just ripping a squirrel to shreds
Oh my God.
and eating it.
Whoa. I was in the
Gross.
gym one time, and it was the treadmills face the window, and I was just sitting there, and a little bird flew and just went wham right into the window. And the cool thing about that is, apparently birds are pretty like dirty.
Oily.
Yeah, it hit the window and it left like this perfect
Well, they
bird.
fly through the air all the time. They pick up a lot of dust.
Is that the way it works, Barb?
Dust.
Yeah,
You pick up dust?
they pick up a lot of dust.
What's like a moth? You ever heard of you get the dust off of a moth's wings that it can't fly anymore? That's what I was told as a
That's
kid.
got to be a lot of shite, right?
It's
Yeah.
got to be shit. They
What
just
if-
tell kids so kids don't like fuck with moths.
No.
I always
yeah,
thought the
I think
dust
that's
was
true.
bits of skin and that floating around.
No, dust is skin.
But how is there dust in the air?
Well, how is there dust in the air?
Well, like,
Where do you think
if-
dust is?
If you left like a plate 30,000 feet up in the air, would there be dust on it? Would it get dusty up there?
You listen, dude. I don't know. I heard one time that the human beings shed 5 pounds of dust a year. 5 pounds of skin.
How much?
5 pounds. Think about that in dust.
That's
Gross.
like a third of a stone.
You know what pounds are.
No, I just trying to visualize what that would be like an object.
How big would that in dust? Like, what's the density of dust? It's pretty low. It
Basically,
might be
how much-
bullshit. Like you eat 8 spiders a year or some shit like that, which is total bullshit.
Total
Yeah,
bullshit.
that is. Didn't they like debunk that recently?
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. So the thing I'm
Debunk
saying
that.
might be bullshit too. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna affect our lives. But this bird, wham! It hit the window, and I was like, "Whoa, that was crazy!" And I went to look at it. And when I went to look at it, something bigger came by. The reason it hit the window was being chased by a hawk. So it like brained itself, and then this hawk came out and went yoink and took away the bird. And I was like, "Oh, that kind of sucks." But in hindsight, I guess it was okay because I'd rather be knocked out and eaten by a hawk than just plain eaten by a hawk.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
would suck.
And feel it all.
Yeah, like
That'd be a great slow mo if you just happen to have a high speed camera pointing at that window.
a bird hitting.
Watching
yeah.
a bird get
Yeah,
eaten
we
by
saw
a
the
hawk.
imprint on it afterwards.
I'm a
It was like the little bird angel.
Yeah.
like flock
is
where they
now.
just come up. I'm really excited about
Rest
getting a
in
cat.
peace.
I'm getting a kitten soon,
Do it.
and I really want to film it in slow mo. I'm gonna want a slow mo kitten video that's like 15 minutes long. I could watch that all day.
What does a kitten do that looks interesting in slow mo?
They play with a bit of string or whatever. I don't know.
Just like, rawr.
Didn't you get a slow-mo video of Lloyd jumping a fence?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of his.
Your
He's
kitty
jumping
cat
down,
Lloyd?
right?
Yeah, it's kind of wide. I want to get like proper close up kitten.
Proper.
Do we have a macro lens here?
A macro lens. I don't think we have a macro lens. I think I think we have one that can go pretty shallow, but I don't think we have anything that's macro.
Maybe rent one.
Yeah, that's if you want to get like, if you want to get the detail on a penny, like a macro lens. Like
You want to get it close to the lens.
you know, Gus's wife Esther went through a period where she was doing tilt shift stuff.
Yeah,
Because
remember
with
that?
all of her miniatures, like doing
Yeah.
like tilt shift, which is.
But you,
I feel like that was a fad for a while on the internet. Was like tilt shift photography, and now you really don't see that anymore. Like
But with
people found it,
miniatures-
then it was everywhere, and then it was gone.
with
Right.
miniatures, you don't need tilt shift to make it look miniature.
Well, I think I take it back. Maybe I misspoke. She liked having miniatures,
Right.
so then she wanted to take tilt shift pictures of stuff to make it look like miniatures to match
okay.
up with her stuff.
That stuff's kind of cool when they like film a highway or something.
Yeah,
and
like
half
there's-
it's blurred.
Yeah.
And
There's that scene
looks
in
so
the
fake.
Social Network when they're doing the boat racing.
Henley Regatta.
Yeah, where like that looks like very tilt shifty when they're doing like
Yeah.
the wide establishing shots. It's like
It
super
just
creepy.
looks so fake.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Some dude on Twitter's like, he said, some species of birds naturally produce their own dust, like some parrots, for instance. And I was like, the fuck does this guy know? Then I looked at his profile photo, and he's like cuddling with a bird. I trust this dude's opinion,
Dude
dude.
knows what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
I bet he changed his picture to that like 2 seconds before he tweeted it.
His name is Mariah Mug.
You are
Just-
one with the birds.
Just tweeted us at the RT Podcast
I wonder
hashtag.
what Earth would look like if you filmed it with a tilt shift lens from the moon. Would it look
Like
like
a marble.
tiny little
Probably
marble?
the exact same.
Has anyone done that?
We probably haven't been to the moon. We haven't been to the moon in forever.
I mean, you could ask like one of the 30 people that have been in space. How many of you think have been in space at this point altogether? Just guess.
200.
200 is exactly the number
You
I was
think
going to
200?
say. Yeah.
Has
Maybe
it been that
300.
many? I guess so.
The ISS has a constant rotation.
Yeah, but it's always like the same dudes over and over, right?
Oh, is it?
Like, oh, time to go to
You think
work.
dudes who get to go like twice, that everyone else is like, come on, dude.
How?
You went to space already.
My turn.
I would totally be that way. I would absolutely say it's my fucking turn to go to space.
No, I'd be like, this is what I do. I'm an astronaut. I go to space. I'm not an astronaut on Earth. I'm going again.
No, you're an asteroid. Or what was that? You're a
Meteorite.
meteorite.
Once
Once you
you're
come
on
back,
Earth.
you're a meteorite.
So how big is the Earth from the moon?
All the way.
It's just the same size, just as big.
What do you mean? Oh,
As the moon is for Earth.
The Earth size doesn't change.
You mean relative? I mean, you've seen pictures from the moon.
is it big though?
Did we talk about that weird?
What does big mean?
Like, do you,
What does big mean?
you know
Well, you
how
know,
big the
could you-
moon looks from here?
Yeah.
I imagine it's pretty much the exact same, but reverse.
No.
Well, no, the moon's
No.
way, the moon's way
Do you
smaller
guys
than
ever see how
Earth.
scale and distance works? Why would an object that's smaller, when it's the same distance away, appear bigger, appear the same size?
I meant. Never mind.
What did you mean? Let's
I'm
delve.
not gonna try to explain this.
Let's
Never
go
mind.
into it.
No.
Because I want to. It'd be cool if the Earth was just mind-blowingly big from the
You've
moon.
never seen a picture of the Earth. ever.
I
Yeah,
think he's trying
from-
to say how big does it look when you're standing on the moon? Like,
Barbara, I'm making a point here. You've never seen a picture of theirs.
Is
Where
it
the fuck do you
bigger-
think they took the picture from?
Is it bigger than the sun? What, you think every picture of the Earth is from the moon?
Well, a lot of them are. They're either from the fucking space station or the goddamn moon. It doesn't show up at school picture day and get a fucking photo and hang it on the goddamn refrigerator. Where else are we taking pictures from?
I would imagine a lot of them come from satellites. In his
Or
defense.
satellites,
Well,
right?
thanks to Google Earth.
Orbit or the moon. We got two different ranges there.
Probably the satellites, though,
You've-
mainly.
Oh God, is this really that hard? Have you never seen a picture with that's the moon in the foreground and the goddamn Earth in the background? You've
So
never
it's
seen that photo.
taken from behind the moon.
On the moon with the ground, with the stupid little car and the fucking fake lander, and then they have and they have the Earth in the background. You haven't seen that.
I don't think I... Oh, see, it's massive. That's
yeah,
top.
that's how
Yeah.
big
Is
it
that
looks.
bigger than the sun?
Is that bigger than the sun? Yeah, that would be bigger than the sun.
Yeah.
I would imagine the sun would be the exact same size from the moon as it is from the Earth.
What? Wait, what? Oh, right, because it's so far away.
Relatively, yeah, it would look the
Because
same.
the weird thing about the sun and the
That's what I
moon...
was trying to
We talked
say.
about this before, right? The weird thing about the sun and the moon and why they look the exact same size is that the moon is like 400 times smaller than the sun, but
400
the sun,
times closer.
the sun is 400 times further away than the moon is.
It's amazing to me that it's that close.
And that's so rare to have perfectly the same size objects eclipse each other like that.
Wow,
Yeah,
to the
that's,
point where you can just see a tiny little ring.
it's pretty awesome.
it's so amazing, and yet our table is still 1 degree off.
Yeah, I mean, if you think we had a smaller moon, eclipses would not be a thing.
Yeah.
It would just be a shadow on the
And
sun.
if it was bigger, it would be, I guess, more common
Yeah,
to have a total solar
so
eclipse.
perfectly aligned.
Yeah, I guess so. There was a big. Did you hear the big earthquake today?
What?
Where?
There's a big earthquake off the
didn't hear
coast
it.
of Alaska. They had a tsunami warning. 8.0
Shit.
earthquake.
I did not get tweets about that one.
That was on CNN. Well, how many people do you follow in Alaska? Right?
No, people fucking tweet at me whenever there's a fucking earthquake all the time.
Oh, that's a good point.
So those islands I talked about that have the 23-hour time difference, they're
Yeah.
up. I guess it's the border between Russia and Alaska.
Oh, okay.
It's like one island is in Russia, and then the other island's like the very last one coming off of Alaska,
So it'd be GMT minus 12 to plus 12?
something like that,
Yeah.
which is absolutely crazy.
That's mental.
Yeah, and I think they said the island on the Russian side is only used for like military purposes. It's like got a military base on it, and the island on the Alaskan side is inhabited by some Inuit natives. I think they said only like 150 people live on that one.
Wow.
Because I was like, that would be awesome to go visit. Like if it was like a tourist spot, and be like, I'm gonna spend all day here and then go back over there and spend the other whole day also. Just like you talked about
Yeah.
the 50-hour day or whatever. Well, I definitely want to visit some of those other ones, like the place in Belgium and the Netherlands where you just like
That's
walk
the
around
kind of
like
thing
crazy.
I want to go to, not necessarily tourist places around the world. I just want to go to interesting places like that.
yeah. They showed like
Like, I want to go to that
Oh, there it
spot
is.
in the US where those 4 states, is it 4 or 5? They all join.
Oh, I
in
was
at the
thinking
same
about that.
point.
When you talking
4.
about borders.
Yeah.
The 4 corners.
I want to go there. I want to go to everywhere that's kind of got weird rules.
Have you been to the Grand Canyon?
No.
You should go to the Grand Canyon.
it's got really weird rules.
I'd be terrified.
If
of
only
Grand
you knew
Canyon.
someone who recently drove to that part of the country and came from, like, say, Los Angeles to Austin, and you had driven with them, for instance.
I don't like being in a car.
Do you find it weird that Meg
You don't have
moved-
to be in a
moved-
car.
Meg moved from L.A. to Austin, and Gavin did not go with her in the car?
I don't find that weird.
I find that so fucking weird.
I just can't be in a car that long.
They
I
probably,
hate-
if Gavin was in the car for that trip, they probably would have broken up
No, they wouldn't.
because
have.
Gavin is not good in cars.
Gavin's like taking a cat in a car. It's like
She
you
would
can manage
bend
it for a few minutes, and then after a while, he's just on your shoulder. Like
I also hate being in a
I
car
want to get out.
that isn't moving. Like, some people, when you get in their car, they faff around for like a minute, and I'm like, let's go! Come on, I'm stuck in a car.
Shit.
What happened?
Nothing. I was trying to send Patrick an image real quick. Somebody posted a cool observation about this photo. We're talking about space photos, and this is a really cool one. But it's an 8 meg photo because it came from fucking NASA. So hold on one second. Let me.
so, yeah, it's funny you say that. Like sometimes I'll get in my car and I try to go right away. Like I'll try to start it and just like put it in gear and like I'm putting my seatbelt on and as I start moving. Sometimes like I'll turn my car on and I'll like try to shift so fast that the car's not ready to shift yet. I don't know if you've ever seen me do that where like I'll hit the and I'll be like, oh, God damn, I gotta do it again.
That
I
happens
don't-
at lunch
I've
sometimes.
never noticed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, your car's not ready to go,
No,
but you
not
are.
ready to go. Like,
Do you guys still every day?
most days.
Most days.
Today, not today. Barbara was out at a shoot for a little while.
So I
Yep.
sent you an image, Patrick. It's on an Imager link.
What were you shooting?
You're shooting for a new 3-part series? I think?
The medieval thing.
Medieval thing.
Yeah. That's how we're describing it. The medieval thing.
Cool.
Are you in that?
No.
No, I'm not in it.
No, I think they're wrapping soon. So
Yeah, I think they're wrapping tomorrow.
yeah.
Nice. They've been filming for like
It
a
was
week.
really cool. It's a really cool concept. I think people are going to enjoy it.
going back every time we go back to the garage sale thing, I wanted to mention this. You and Jeff on Drunk Gamers back in the day had an ongoing series. It was probably the most popular thing on Drunk Gamers was you and Jeff going to drunken sailing.
Drunk sailing.
You guys would go to garage sales and that was like what you did every fucking Saturday.
We just tried to find video games.
They would wake up at 6 a.m. and go to garage sales.
Sailing?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And they would get drunk?
I only just got that now.
Yeah.
I've seen
They
drunk
get
sailing
drunk.
constantly over the years.
They're probably always drunk.
Yeah, and we just try to find video games and whatever cool
Did you
stuff
ever get
could
good
find.
deals and stuff?
You got that image?
Sometimes we would have we'd have good stuff. It was rare.
Never had anything good.
So what is this, Birds?
It was funny
What
'cause
is
they
this photo?
So that's a photo of the lunar lander going down to the surface of the moon. And the one dude is staying up in the orbiter. And you talked about this one time that he was the most isolated person in the entire world.
Yeah, he was the
Or the
human
entire-
furthest from any other human.
Because he was...
Well, not in the world.
Not in the world that's ever human ever. He was the most isolated because his distance to them on the surface of the planet, or on the surface of the moon, I should say, was greater than any other human has ever been further away than any other human.
Should we talk about how many people volunteered to go to Mars and never come back?
Was it a bunch? Hold on a second. Let me tell you about the perspective somebody gave on this photo here, if you can go back to it. So the guy that took the photo of the lunar lander going down to the moon, he took it from the orbiter. So it's got the lunar lander in the foreground. In the background, it's got the Earth.
Yeah.
So someone pointed out that photo contains, it's a photo of every single human ever in existence, living and dead, except for the guy that took the photo.
Wow.
He's the only person ever to have lived as a human that's not in that photo.
Wow.
That's a really interesting observation. It's
That's
like
pretty funny.
Yeah,
That makes me feel really uneasy for some
It's
reason.
like-
it does, right?
Yeah.
It's
like
really weird. We're
everything-
all in that photo in some weird way. Like all the materials that made us, everything is in that photo.
Yeah. It's like everything that ever happened, all of the history except for him.
Except for that dude.
So
Except for
isolated.
that dude. Yeah. It's crazy.
So sad.
The caption should be like, guys, I missed it.
Can we
wasn't
take it again?
Can we Photoshop him in like Ray
It's
at
like
the
that
Halo
Oscar
launch?
selfie.
We'll just put him in at the
Guys,
end.
1 billion of you were blinking.
Yeah,
How often do you blink? What are the chances if you take a photo of 6 billion people? Probably 5 billion people when that was. God, it was probably 4 billion people
yeah.
when that photo was taken.
Probably less than 4.
Might have been
actually.
less than 4 billion.
'Cause I remember 4 billion being the milestone when I was young.
In your
what year-
lifetime.
Yeah, in my
What year
lifetime.
was that taken?
1968?
Late
Was that-
60s, maybe early 70s.
That would
Yeah.
be different for a woman, though.
What?
Oh,
Oh,
God.
I'm trying. No. Wait. Let's see. What does that mean? That would be
Wait a minute,
different
guys.
for a woman, though.
Now let's do this from now on. Guys, let's do this from now on. Whenever this comes up, you and I are now going to play Who's Gavin's Brain? Am I Gavin's Brain or are you Gavin's Brain?
Okay.
You be Gavin's Brain.
Can you repeat the question? That's probably probably different for a woman.
It would
though?
probably
That
be,
statement
what
is
year
different
was
for a
it?
woman.
1968. It would probably be different for a
No,
woman.
no. The year's nothing to do with it.
That's
But that's when
That's
you
how the
said that.
conversation went.
All right.
It's probably different for a woman, though.
I'll be Gavin's Brain.
All right, you
Can I
be Gavin's
volunteer?
brain. Yeah.
Here's why.
Something about
A woman is filled with eggs. So, since people are the eggs, she has more than just herself out of the photo. She has a bunch of people that are going to be people also behind the camera as well.
Right, but that still is encompassed by everyone who's ever gonna.
No, but this could be generations of people that are like egged up in
Right.
her.
How'd
I do,
for
Gavin?
a woman, though. Hold on, I
Spot on.
still
Absolutely spot on.
I've known you too long.
Because if it was a woman who would eventually have kids, her kid was up there too.
Gavin is fascinated by ovaries. You don't know that yet?
It's so interesting to me that you have a finite amount. A dude could just sperm everywhere, left and right, all day, every day, and never run out.
Because remember he got the whole thing about you're in your grandmother
Yeah.
with your
sperm all
mother.
day.
Like because you're an egg in
Yeah,
your
like-
in your mother who's in your grandmother. That
Yeah.
was the discussion. you had
Because a
before.
baby has all of its eggs. So the baby that's in the woman has eggs that it will one day have.
He's fascinated by
I
eggs.
love when you confuse yourself mid-sentence.
It's not. I think it's not that he's confused. I think he's just excited about the
can't, like-
topic for some reason.
It's like when you miss out a word while you're typing.
I'm now gonna keep
Oh,
record.
man.
I am now 1 for 1 as Gavin's
you are.
brain. You have to match me later.
I was so brain dead
That was
earlier.
impressive.
That's really good.
I sent an email to the convention center. I was coordinating some stuff with the catering department there for RTX, and one of our exhibitors had a question because they wanted to know if they could pass out free bottles of water in their booth. So I emailed the catering department at the convention center. And I said, "Hey, one of our exhibitors wants to know if they can give out free watered bottles at their booth." And I sent the email, and I was like, something was weird about that. And I went back and I looked at my sent items, and I was like, I wrote watered bottles.
Was
And
it
then
early?
I sent a follow-up email. It's like, obviously I mean bottled water. They were still confused. They're like, do you mean bottles with water in them or like empty water bottles that people can use later.
So are there different rules depending on
It was
either
like
of those?
even a watered bottle would be a bottle with water in it.
A watered bottle to me is just droplets of water on the outside of an empty bottle,
Watered bottle.
like watered plants.
Yeah, there's no that doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
it was it was early, and I was just trying to plow through as many emails as I
My
could.
brain is so fried because of RTX right now. I've made so many mistakes like for the last couple days, just small stupid things.
Like going on that shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was a mistake.
Well, they convinced me I'd be out by 11:30 because I had a meeting at 2 and I was out by 1:30 and I missed the meeting. Great.
That happens
Yeah.
Okay, here's what you should know about all live action shoots everywhere on the planet.
everywhere on the planet.
Don't make plans after the shoot, because you will never do them.
That plan already existed. This is an ongoing weekly RTX meeting.
I know a guy that wanted to be in day 5, and he talked about it forever. Like, he was so looking for it. I said, absolutely, we can put you in it. There's a scene in particular that you would fit really well as like a background player. You should absolutely do it. He was really, talked about it for as long as we've been,
Who?
had that thing. My friend Andy. You know Andy.
Yeah.
And we were, that show was on hiatus for a while and then came back. So like for 9 months to a year, he was talking about it. And they called him and they said, yeah, we need you tomorrow if you want to be in this. He's like, great. And they're like, we need you from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And he's like, I have a job. I have a business. I can't just be there all day. They're like, well, okay, well, sorry. And that was it. Like, after he looked forward to it for so long. And I didn't even think to talk to him about that part of it because I was like, yeah, of course. And I even had to explain to him, they need you there for 13 hours, but they only want you there for 13 hours for when, like, the 2 seconds they need
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to have everyone there all day,
Right.
then meticulously plan what you're going to do, because sometimes stuff changes. You have
Well,
It
they
to-
have to
always
also
changes.
set up shots and everything like that.
Yeah.
It takes a long time.
That's why I always have, when we first started this podcast, I think one of the big stories was Christian Bale freaking the fuck out on the set of Terminator Salvation.
Right.
At the DOP.
Yeah, the DP. You say DOP?
Yeah.
Interesting. I never say I say DP, director of photography, but I say DP.
DP?
You say DOP, huh?
I think everyone says DP.
Maybe in UK they
Yeah,
say
maybe it's
DOP.
an English thing.
Dope.
DOP.
I mean, I get what you're saying when you say DOP. I get it. That's just interesting to me. Anyway, he was yelling at the dude, but I totally understood Christian Bale being furious about that because when you look at a movie set, I have a lot of respect for actors, and I gained a lot of respect for actors about how hard that job is because everybody gets like 3 hours to get set up. You get the guys come in, they set up the C-stands, set up the lights. You get the audio guys testing their shit for 30 minutes. You get the camera guys, like, they're doing it to the point where they're pulling focus, where they say, here's our focus here, there's our focus there. Stand-in sits there, they light the guy, makeup, you're in makeup for 30 minutes. Actors, it's like, okay, we've all been working for 4 hours. Now we're finally ready to shoot. You have exactly 30 seconds to be perfect. And you gotta be spot on, and you gotta turn it on and turn it off. And we're ready for you. Oh, no, we're not ready for you. Now we're ready for you. Oh, now we're not ready for
And
you.
you've got to be ready for technical issues. Like
Right.
if your mic's broken and you've just done the best performance you're going to give,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, we didn't get that, you got to do it again.
Do it again.
That happened
Yeah.
to me today where there was like a whole stunt going on and I had to say a line after that stunt happens. And there was like, I don't want to give anything away, but there was stuff involved where they had to make a mess.
Uh-huh.
And I was
Blood?
like, I really hope I don't fuck this line up
Yeah.
because that would suck.
I'm always amazed that Gavin, in slow motion, shoots these explosions. And I've never heard you about, like, yeah, we had to redo the entire explosion because I didn't have my exposure right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just put all of the time into making sure the Phantom's ready and like working before I do it.
I've said it about 1,000 times in the podcast. I still don't understand how you go from a normally lit room to a massive explosion. That's a huge change in light, and your image is still exposed perfectly. And you've never messed that up, from what I've heard. I've never heard of you messing it up.
No, you always err on underexposing anyway.
You're like Rain Man.
And yet, every single person who runs the Phantom camera for the first time, which is basically, there's 3 ways you can set it. You can set it to where you hit the button and it records the next 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Or you can set it, I'm simplifying here. You can set it so that when you hit the button, it records the previous 2 seconds and the next 2 seconds. Or you can do it to where you hit the button and it just records the last 4 seconds. So usually, explosion, that was good, click, and then you get the explosion after the fact. That's usually the way you have it set up for big stuff, right?
Yeah, because that gives me enough time to run back.
Right, and do it.
Yeah.
That's why you're always running after something happens.
But sometimes you want as much fallout after the explosion as possible.
Right.
So what I do then, you've always got 4 seconds, and you can place the trigger anywhere. So I'll be like,
Right.
I'll place the trigger a second in to the buffer. So when the explosion happens, I'll have reaction time. I'll press the button. It'll record 1 second back and the remaining time forwards. And
So
that
you
way
get
you
as much at the end.
maximize you maximize the event in the window.
You have a
of
4
time.
second window there. You always get it right. Everyone else always gets it wrong. Like I've seen people. It's like there's an explosion. We're gonna set it so that you see the explosion and then hit the button. And like you said, you can set that trigger anywhere in that 4 seconds. So we're gonna give them 3 seconds to react and then a second after. And it's like the explosion goes off and the person's like, "Oh, I didn't hit the button." It's like I think Brandon did that once. He like got so nervous he locked up and he goes, I didn't even hit the button.
I've never messed it up. I'm amazed at how many other people mess it up.
It's everybody 100% of the time. messes
One of
up.
the guys I used to work with, he would never mess with the trigger point because in his head he would be like, "Oh, maybe I've said it wrong." So he always did a end trigger. But on explosions, you basically wait for the explosion, wait a couple of seconds, and press it. The explosion would always make him jump, and he'd hit it as the explosion went off. So he had like tons of lead up to the explosion, then.
Good Lord. And what would you do? Just say we got to go again?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
that's expensive.
Sucks.
Yep.
I'm sure people love that.
A big part of movies is redundancy. You know that Matrix shootout they had in that one lobby?
Yeah.
They built that whole set twice. And then there's a whole pristine version of that set somewhere else because they got all their shots right.
Oh, good.
And they didn't have to go back and film it.
That's amazing that they built it and didn't use it. It's awesome.
They built the fucking freeway for Matrix 2.
I want to correct something here on Twitter real fast. Someone,
Oh, good luck. We'll be here a
just
while.
because if I don't correct it now,
Do
we're going
it
to hear about it
internet.
forever.
Okay.
Someone
Thanks,
said
Gus.
moon landing was 1969. You'll be reminded of that from now until the end of Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
I know that's when the first moon landing was. We don't know when that photo was taken, which may not have been on the first moon landing. It may have been on a subsequent one.
Yeah, but I said 68. I was trying to remember when the moon landing was. I did not remember off the top of my head when the moon landing was.
Late 60s,
I'm
early
so sorry,
70s.
all of you who have fucking Wikipedia at your
Look, at
fingers.
this point,
and
68
obviously knew that fact off the top of your fucking heads and didn't look it up.
68 is 69 at this point.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was off by a year. Oh, it's totally fucking wrong.
You were off by maybe
You're off by a
500
degree.
days that happened like 20,000 days ago.
Yeah, 1969. That's when we landed on the moon. 1968. We were fucking banging on rocks. we didn't know shit.
We were doing the bone thing with the monkeys.
I was way the fuck off.
I think that's my pet peeve about the podcast is people who get on you for getting facts incorrect.
Oh, it's all the
so
science people who
easy
know
to-
It's
one
like
fucking thing.
you're in the middle of a conversation, you're performing, you're doing the podcast. You're not going to remember every fucking detail
You
about
won't.
life. Well, I won't. 'cause
Barbara,
I'm
you're getting
fucking
pissy at the audience.
Yeah, I'm pissy. People.
Somebody sent me Earth's school photo with the blue background. And all that.
Is it wearing like big clunky glasses?
I wanna see.
It's just here. It's
So-
just Earth at school.
The people who want to go to Mars and die there,
Go ahead.
they have no intention of coming back. I
That's
imagine
Gus.
a bunch of them will go. They will set up life on Mars and then make babies. And then we'll have real Martians, all right? People who are
Yeah,
born on Mars.
It's true.
Do they get a passport? Like, is there then going to be like a planetary passport?
That'd be awesome.
Also-
What if the front door for their Martian house is in Belgium? That's what I want to know.
That's when it gets confusing.
But what if, because what happened with America, right? Everyone went there and then they were like, oh, screw everywhere else. We're
What
America
if-
now.
That's it. That's
And
pretty
then
much it.
we had to send
That's
people.
what the Declaration of Independence starts with.
We had to send
Screw
people over
everywhere
to
else.
America to try and like get that under, back how it should be.
Yeah, that worked out.
And then we lost, and then America was America.
It happens.
Will there be a interplanetary war between Mars and Earth one day? Do you think, involving humans?
Interworld War One.
It wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it.
Why?
Just say, what are the resources?
What?
How are you gonna go to another planet to fight a war?
Well, what if Mars is building an army?
It's like we're gonna invade you 2 years from now. Here we come. Yes. It's like just get ready. You
Here's
just
these
go like
blueprints.
you just do this. You go da, 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 da. All right, dig a hole right here. Dig a big hole. The fucking army lands and just bury him. That's what I would do. Imagine if the Nazis had like a 2-year lead on knowing exactly where the U.S. forces were gonna land at Normandy.
soon.
I don't think we can fight wars anymore like that. I think that age is like quickly going away.
Information's too readily available.
Yeah, like I just look at like we could arrive on the beach of Normandy and the German forces, the Axis forces, were just like, we think they're going to come anywhere along this coast in these corridors at these spots, and they set up bunkers, but they just didn't really have an idea. You know what I mean?
So was there the equivalent of that setup at Normandy everywhere else along that coast?
There were other places where we landed. Normandy, I think, is just the big one that we always talk about. But D-Day was like a couple different points of entry. So there were different beaches.
Yeah, I think they obviously set up defenses anywhere they thought could be a potential landing area.
D-Day was a big operation.
I mean, yeah, they talk about how they tried to build fake armies, like they had inflatable tanks and fake planes that they set so that when German spy planes would fly over to take pictures, they would think all of their forces were somewhere else, but they were all just like inflatables and wooden like pieces of
I
shit.
love the idea of some guy explaining to his wife. He's like, yeah, I'm helping our country for the war. What are you doing?
I got to go blow up the tank. That sounds dangerous. No, I just have to inhale and like it's like a
blow
pool
up.
toy.
I'm the tank inflator for the war.
I've also seen, I guess, over, like Air Force bases in California. I think it was Air Force bases and airplane factories. They didn't want them to look like factories from the sky, so they would put giant tarps over the top of them that looked like neighborhoods.
Oh,
So when you were flying over, it would look like a neighborhood street with houses and roads
That
and
is
stuff.
comedy.
But then under the tarp was, see, there's an inflatable tank.
Wow.
I love that they're just like really basic tricks that people would fall for when they're in the plane.
That would be a great flotation device to use at the beach.
It's funny because the standard term we use is like the storming the beach at Normandy, but that's not really accurate. I always heard that phrase. I guess like growing up, you heard
Storming
about like
Normandy.
veterans who stormed the beach at Normandy. It was actually so Normandy is the region of France. It was
Normandy.
Operation Neptune is actually what it was called, and it was the landings, both sea and air landings, airborne landings that we did in the Normandy region of France. And the different sites were. I just had it. Now I lost it. Let me look up Omaha.
They
I
call
know
them
that's
what,
one
like
of them.
Sword, Gold.
Gold Beach, Omaha Beach, Juno Beach, Sword Beach, Point de Hoc, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, Utah, and then British and Canadian airborne landings as well. So it was a lot of different stuff, but it was like all contained in the Normandy region of France, which I believe is where Nico is from. Because Nico's French, and I think his family is from Normandy. So like every Veterans Day and every D-Day anniversary, Nico always writes something about that. He's very, very like from his family growing up. He's very appreciative of the Allied forces or the American forces landing in Normandy.
We're gonna see Nico soon.
After this past D-Day, I don't know if you saw, there was a post on Reddit where someone took old photos of the beaches, while D-Day was happening, and they like cross-cut them with modern pictures of that beach. You'd see like where there were like dead bodies and planes exploded and everything, and then just like a family walking by.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like,
It'd be really cool to just be able to see the spot that you're on and like wind back time and see the history on that spot. It's crazy.
As a matter of fact, Nico just wrote a journal entry 2 weeks ago about it because it was the anniversary. It was 70-year anniversary of it. And he wrote a journal entry. He writes it every year on D-Day. And so I had a feeling since it just passed that he had written about it. And sure enough, yep, he wrote about it. 70 years
Speaking
ago
of-
today, Americans, British, Canadians, and others of all nationalities and backgrounds endured incalculable hardship and demonstrated untold bravery to liberate my country, France. Merci.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
You were talking about like
De rien.
misleading people from a distance with inflatable tanks and stuff. I once read, I'm not actually sure if it's true, that there is this house in North Korea that is built just so that people in South Korea can see what North Korea is like. It's like a fake house. It's meant to look all perfect on this nice little street, but it's completely empty. It's like just a stunt house
Really?
on a hill, and you can see it with a telescope or something. And I'd love to just walk inside that house.
I believe it.
Yeah.
There's so much crazy stuff about that North and South Korea border. Like, I don't know if you know this, but there's the DMZ where it's a heavily armored border. Armies looking at each other, pointing guns, whatever. The South Korean army puts their tallest, most intimidating soldier on patrol there to just be physically intimidating to the North Koreans because they're not as well nourished.
Makes
so they
sense.
see like giant 6-foot-tall South Korean dudes like, what the fuck is that? And it's like they just stand there facing each other. It's like a couple of North Korean guards on one side of a building facing a couple of South Korean guards on this side of the building.
Just
Do you think
intimidating
they
each
become
other.
friends?
No, they have all these weird protocols. Like there's this room or there's this building that has a door on the North Korean side and the South Korean side, so that if they ever have to meet for negotiations, they go in there and they talk. When the South Korean soldiers unlock the door, they have a protocol where one soldier goes and unlocks the door and he leaves one hand back behind him, and the other soldier holds onto that arm and holds onto the side of the building, because in the past North Koreans have grabbed them and kidnapped them and taken them to the north. So the other soldier holds onto his other arm so that when he opens the door, there's no chance of him being taken through the door and kidnapped.
Holy crap.
Jeez.
Jesus.
It's a whole bunch of crazy
surprised they didn't
protocols and
just
stuff like that.
Handcuff themselves to it.
Oh, I mean, it seems like a pain in the ass, I guess, for like the one time in 10 years when it happens.
I think that's that picture of that fake place.
Oh, is that
If
it?
we had lost the American Revolution, if the American forces had lost, what do you think would be different about America? Do you think America and Canada would be one country?
One could only hope.
You think we would be?
I don't know.
Then I have to get this fucking work visa.
I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not entirely sure how Canada went from being a French territory to being a British Commonwealth. I'm not entirely sure how that took place.
Barbara, you care to enlighten us in Canadian history?
Nope. 'Cause
Barbara, you're the worst-
I know I'm gonna get
you're
some
the
facts
worst
wrong, and people are just gonna
Canadian.
be on me.
Yeah. Just say I get stuff wrong all the time, and I get
Yeah.
a ton of tweets. Here's what I do.
No, but people will just fucking never let it go. So
Just ignore it.
no.
All right.
Canadians are proud. They invented basketball on the radio, and everything else they fucking tell us they invented, like bacon and gravy on fries. Good job.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Canadian bacon is not as good as American bacon.
I'm just making shit up
Oh
at this
my
point.
God, who
It's just one of
gives
those
a
things. Like,
fuck?
just one of those things. If a Canadian invented something,
I like
you'll know
you.
it because they'll tell you.
I like
basically.
Barbara around RTX. She's so testy.
Are you? What's wrong?
I just get really like, I have no
Just
patience.
Chill your beans.
You just don't want to know shit about your own country. You want to know everything, and you don't know this particular fact. Like you don't know how it became from. Be honest. You went from French territory to a British Commonwealth. You don't know how that happened, and you're afraid you're going to catch shit from other Canadians for not knowing that.
I will.
It's some basic fact. Like
Yeah.
there was the War of Maple or something. I don't know what it was. Somebody lost a fucking hockey
War
game.
of Maple.
Fucking goose landed facing the wrong way.
No, I'm the one subject that I was never good at and never will be good at is history. I am
But it's the
terrible.
easiest subject.
How
History?
so?
It just never
Should
changes.
go into history school.
Yeah, but there's a lot of dates and facts and like things you have to remember and names of things.
Patrick, I'm sending you the
There's
photo.
a lot of information
the thing
to take
The
in.
thing about history is it's a lot of rote memorization as opposed to something like math or science where you just learn like a process or
Yeah,
how
I'm
to
better
do
at that
something,
kind of thing.
and then you can apply it.
Yeah, I guess every piece of history is a different piece of information.
Right, you have to store all of
Yeah.
that as opposed to like just knowing how to add two numbers.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh, well, they won the Battle of Hastings, so they probably won.
I've always been terrible at memorization and retaining facts.
When
like
was the
that.
Battle of Hastings?
Again, I don't know.
I don't know.
11:15.
1066.
Damn,
1066?
so close, so close.
See, that shit-
49 years off.
That shit I don't know. I'm terrible with history and dates.
You were 49 years off, and that's fine. I was 1 year off from the fucking moon landing. 1 fucking year.
Well, the equivalent of that many years off then is the
Yeah,
difference.
it's the
between
scale. It's
then
like the
what
difference,
now.
the distance between the moon and the sun.
You know what? Actually, the big events. You know what I would get confused about when I'm talking about the moon landing is I go to say it and I have to check myself and say the other one because I always want to mix up the Kennedy assassination with the moon landing, like those two major events in the '60s. I always
When
wanna
do you
go-
wreck yourself though?
I don't wreck myself ever. I always check myself.
There you go.
beforehand.
I was gonna say it.
Always.
You beat me to it.
Always.
You got the picture?
So according to Twitter, Barbara is the worst Canadian.
I am a terrible Canadian.
There
also,
we go.
Could
Sorry.
someone check that 1066 is right? Because that might be wrong.
Oh my God! You said it with such conviction. I'll look
What?
it up.
Oh, I sent Patrick the photo that you were talking about with the Korean guys like guarding the door, guarding each other, guarding the door. That's it.
Oh yeah. Wow, what a firm grip he's got there.
Yeah. Dude, good thing he's got that wall.
Battle of Hastings was 1066. You are correct. October 14th.
That reminds me, we were in an RT recap recently, Gus and I, the new guy RT
Oh,
recap,
right.
and we were supposed to be walking down the hall and we were supposed to hassle this new guy. That was our bit. And then I said, Gus, hey, it'd be funny when they come around the corner and you and I are walking down the hall together, let's be holding hands. And we'll just be, that's the way we walk around the office. And it was like a waste because we turn the corner, they turn the corner so fast you can't really see that
Yeah.
we're holding hands.
You were actually holding hands. in
We,
that
we just
take?
walked down the
Yeah.
hall holding hands.
Like I almost didn't want to do it because he said it and I started laughing. I said, if we're holding hands walking down the hall, I'm just going to be laughing and ruin the take.
And it was
I
totally
I didn't know you were filming that, and I walked around the corner behind you, and I saw you in the camera, and then I just turned around and walked back. But you can see me in the background, just be like, oh, see you later.
Did I ever tell you about the first movie we ever shot? The way that we had this guy who was very well meaning but so fucking dumb, and he was helping us. He was like our PA, and he's a lot smarter now. But he was back in college. He was kind of dopey, and he did the fucking dumbest thing ever. We were shooting a picnic scene. It was in the movie. It was a picnic scene.
Did he bring ants?
Fucking blanket, person, chicken, whatever it was they were eating. And they were sitting there, we're shooting the shot, so we're going this way. And it's like, and Tony was late. And we're like watching the shot. It was a big, long take. We shot on a camera back then. You could only do, it had a 100-foot reel. It was a shoot camera.
So a couple of minutes?
For 2.5 minutes is what we could get. So this scene was going to do one take. We were going to do 2.5 minutes. So they had to get it right. And then if they didn't, we'd had to change the film and all this stuff. So we'd done it like twice already. We're on the third take. And we're doing this. And they're 1 minute into the scene. And I look up. And here comes fucking Tony walking to the set because he's late. And I'm like, oh, shit. I said, but no big deal. He's just somebody walking in the background of the shot. Like, here's the shot. And he's about where you are, but, like, further back. But that's where the angle is in the shot. He's walking up. And so I'm, like, to Tony. I'm behind the camera. And he's like, look. And I go,
This is great for the audio
like
podcast.
that. Yeah, it's great for the audio podcast. I'm just telling walk.
You're
walk.
pantomiming walking.
Yeah. And then Tony, he's walking along, and sure enough, he gets about 50 feet. I can't judge this. About 50 feet away, and he looks up and he makes eye contact with me, and he goes like this. This is terrible for the audio podcast. I recognize. He goes like this. He goes.
Deer in the headlights look, and he like crouches down
He
like
froze,
a cat.
and then like cartoon style, he creeps off like this.
With his hands in front of him, like he's sneaking, like a burglar in an old cartoon.
Like a Scooby-Doo cartoon. He's like getting away from the monitor. I was like, good Lord. God damn.
Please tell me you used that tape.
Like,
That was the best one.
There goes fucking Tony in the background.
It's the kind of motion that goes together with a creaky floorboard every time.
I was like, what were you doing? I mean, what was have you ever made that motion in your life?
Does that work? Is that how you sneak away so people don't see you?
Like, he was like a ninja. There was a guy then, and he just disappeared into thin air.
It could have been worse. He could have thrown one of those smoke puffs down. Disappeared that way.
Or just fallen over dead, like locked up.
Both of those might have been better. Each of those scenarios might have been preferable to
We
what
could have
actually happened.
CG'd in like a meteorite hitting him or something and knock him out. Anything would have been better than what he did. It was like, cut.
Was he that noticeable in the shot? Was he in focus? And stuff?
Oh, he was just in the background.
I mean, even if he wasn't. you would
imagine
still
if
do
you're in a
that.
movie and there's like all these people in the city street and one person goes at the camera. You'd be like, what the fuck? Why'd they leave that in?
I did that
terrible.
recently with the bare naked lady shoot. I went off to do something and I came back and I ran because everyone walked off. And I guess while we were walking back to the other location, Matt was filming them like all walking around and singing the song. So I like ran around the corner and I saw them all like walking and doing this. I was like, are they shooting? So I tried to like hide behind one of them and like get further and further back. And in the end, I snuck off. But then they turned the corner and the camera came around and it was pointing at me again. So I was like, oh, for God's sake. And I was in the shot
your
again.
beer.
Where? Oh, it's empty.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Where's
see
the,
all that beer spill
where's
out
the
then.
opener?
Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? Kara told me a story about you that worried me. Gavin, you. Gavin has a spot on his face where he has no beard,
Because I
He's
pull it
told
out.
this story a billion times on the podcast.
but he can't feel that part of his face because that's where he had
Yeah,
a.
that's because he needs to go to a fucking
No,
doctor.
it's just it's been like that since then, and I don't remember it happening before that. But this patch of like bare skin here, it's different on that side.
Let me see.
You know, like it happens to everyone. Everyone has that spot on their face they
no.
can't feel
No. You know
It's
why?
just
You know why
numb.
he? You know why it's like a bare spot though? Because he pulls out his hair
because he can't feel it.
absent-mindedly because he can't feel it because of his
it's like
stroke.
right there. But
Yeah.
it feels good to pull hair out of it because it's tingly if I don't.
Do you
It's one of
feel-
those things where if I'm not doing anything, it's like, I'll just pull some hair out.
Why?
If someone slaps
What is
you,
that
do you
called?
feel it?
Tricho.
If someone does
Called
that.
Slaps
something.
you?
Well, it's only this bit that has no feeling. Like all around here does. Like
So-
that's why I didn't pull this bit out because it hurts.
Do you feel that?
I can feel like the suction on my other
But
skin.
there's no like
but not
sensitivity.
actually on that bit. And if I do it on this side of my cheek,
It hurts.
Oh, it really hurts. Like pulling hair out your face.
Imagine
It's
it feels the same way in the other one. It's just getting intercepted.
It's like
I
when you
just
get like
damaged-
some sort of dental surgery and then you're like playing with your lip because it's all numb. And you're like,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
So do you not have like a piece of your body that's numb from feeling?
My heart.
Kara went. Oh.
I would have to agree. Gus.
I don't think so. I don't think I have any numb parts.
Should I get that checked though?
Yeah.
Should I get-
Yes.
Should I go to the doctor and say one piece of my face is a
Go.
bit
You
numb?
should know what. You should go to every doctor.
You
at
should
this
go
point.
to a doctor.
You've had strokes.
It wasn't a
Your
well,
colon
maybe.
fell out. You're headed
my
for
what
rough
fell out?
waters. Your colon. You had
Your
You had-
butthole, dude.
I had diarrhea. That's not a serious
for
injury.
5 days in a row.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Well,
That
it's
is not
fixed now.
good. It is fixed now. You're
You
right.
probably feel nice and healthy now.
Let's put a
feel-
cork
I
up
Like
in
had
there.
a little clear
I feel
out.
good right now.
If I get on the same bathroom, I don't want to go back to bathroom stuff. But I'm gonna say this: if I get on the same bathroom schedule as somebody else here, I do everything in my power to get off the same bathroom schedule as somebody
Miles
else.
and I ran into each other like 3 times one day.
You're done with that then.
Yeah, I was like,
I'll do anything different.
how did this happen?
Yeah.
That we need to piss at the exact same time.
Speaking of schedules, I saw you outside last week.
Oh my God.
And you were like, oh, I guess it's this kind of time of day. This is usually when I see that British Airways flight go, oh, there it is right now. And I just happened to be filming as well. So we have that on video. I think maybe we should
You
make
you
a-
were just filming something else.
Well-
and then you turned to me for my reaction.
Here's what happened. I walked to the toilet and I saw Aaron just stood there. He was stood there like this, just looking off into the distance. I was like, all right, weirdo. Just standing there. That's cool. Went to the bog. Probably took me a couple of minutes. Came out. He was still just stood there looking off into the distance. So I got my phone out and I started recording the back of his head. I got like 2 minutes of footage of me just standing behind him. He eventually...
Sometimes people just space out.
Who spaces out like this?
Superman.
He eventually realized I was there. I was like, ugh. And then Gus came out, and then we had the moment where I saw that we both saw the flight together. Maybe that.
Yeah, you were getting my reaction to him just standing there, and just out of the blue, it's like, oh hey, it's 3:45. Right about now is the time that there it is.
I'll see if I can
Like-
play the audio from it because it's really funny. It's like a genuine reaction.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna read this while you get that queued up.
By the way, just so people stop tweeting it to me, it's trichotillomania is
there you
the
go.
pulling out your hair, obsessively pulling out your hair.
I want to remind everyone this episode of Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by.
Here's Gus's realization.
I have no idea what he was doing.
It's I just want to say it's about time for British Airways 191 to fly over. There it is. It's right there. It's right there. Like you couldn't even hear it yet.
Yeah. It was just a dot in the distance. It's right there.
That is fucking crazy. You know, that's crazy that you know that.
And that happens only once a day, and we just converged on that same spot.
Yeah, and but I see that plane almost every day. I don't know why.
It's so crazy. It
so-
doesn't make any
Maybe you
sense.
subconsciously go outside when you know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, like I feel like a weird
your body
need.
tingles.
Maybe it's like a weird brown note where the soft rumble in the distance actually affects.
Maybe you're
your
gonna die on
bladder.
that flight one day. Maybe that's why
Or
you
the
see it.
flight's gonna fall on me one day. Like the one day I don't see it outside of sitting at my desk next to you, it's just gonna
No!
fucking punch right through the building. But, you
Is
know,
that a new box of nature
That is
box?
a new nature box.
So can we open that?
Yeah,
and see
go
what's
for
in
it. I haven't looked at it yet. I just cut it open right before the.
Oh, you did
the
cut it
podcast.
open?
Yeah, so it's open.
What's in it? Nature box. All right, I'm gonna
Do you
eat.
think we could do an RT Life that's just 2 minutes of Aaron looking off into the distance and then it ends on that?
I feel like that's so specific. Like not only like podcast listeners who heard that one episode where we talked about how I always see that plane would.
It's like we need a
understand the
video
significance.
dump for the podcast for stuff that we don't want to be a RT Life, but we want to show. Wonder if
We
there's
need to
an
get
easy way.
Mariel a quieter chair.
Who built this box? Who built this one?
They just sent it,
I got
right?
random stuff.
You're my spirit animal. Peanut butter nom noms.
Aw.
What
Love
mini
this one.
peanut butter oat cookie? Holy shit! Sea salt pop pops. I like these names.
Pops.
I like these names. Pop pop's like a grandfather.
Yeah, I do like nom noms. It's like wait, I'm kind of snacky. What do I want?
Vanilla
Honey Nom Noms.
macaroon granola.
Honey
This is
crispy
awesome.
grandfather.
Gross pop pop.
Man, so as part of I don't know what I guess talking about like flavors and spices when you
I'm
think
not
about
supposed to
this.
eat a mic, but YOLO.
Just move the mic away from your
Fuck
face.
you.
when
I
you're
will.
Crunching.
Just mute the track later.
How do you have a pantry full of like old shit? Like now that I'm getting ready to move, like Esther's going through our stuff and packing it up, and she opened up our pantry today. She said that we have just tons of old spices.
I have mustard always.
Yeah,
I always
it's
have like an old Coleman's mustard.
So you find this spice is like this expired over a year ago, and we still have it. Like you'll buy something, you use it like once or twice, and you forget about it, and it's you have so much shit in your house that you just don't need.
I'm in a great
The
new...
door of the fridge is that. The door of the fridge is like condiments that are
Yep.
like 80 years old.
That you never are gonna throw away.
Have you seen
I
those?
might want a squirt of 40-year-old mustard at some point.
Have you seen those new fridges where you can press a button and it opens the door differently?
Oh wait.
Damn.
Gavin's brain.
You go. It's your turn. It's your turn.
I think what he means is
Gav, what do you mean? You open a door, you push a button, and it opens the refrigerator door differently. What does that mean?
it doesn't open the door fully. It opens the outer door, and there's still a glass panel on the inside, so you can see the food without it fully being open.
That is correct.
Oh, hey!
opens, so you pull open the whole fridge door, it brings open the door with all the food in, or you can hold a button down and it just pulls the front of the fridge off, and you can take the stuff that's in the door out.
I
like it's
only
the fridge.
know this because I had to buy a fridge because I'm moving. I saw a fridge like this at the store the other day.
Do you know how much extra you typically pay for that feature? It's like $500 more expensive. Just for a show door, they call it.
Yeah, I saw. I was
Gavin's
like,
in-
"That's cool.
And
I'm
you
not
have
paying
one?
that much for a fridge." I just moved on.
Gavin is in
Is
what
that
I
one
call.
you have? Oh.
No, I didn't buy a stupid fridge.
There's a point in your life when you have, and he's in it. You have a bunch of startup costs. Like you have a house, so you're gonna go buy another house. You just kind of like trade in your old house and then move that money over to your new house.
Right.
But at Gavin's age, you don't have that. You have to like start.
Yeah.
And you have to come up with your down payment. And it's like a lot of people can relate to a car. Like the first time you go buy a car, you buy a used car, you got to pay like $5,000 for a used car. You got to come up with $5,000. But the next time you go to a car, you have some value in that system, and you can like trade up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you spend $5,000, you're still going up in cars basically because you have your old car still.
Right.
And that stage of life just makes you broke. It just makes you fucking broke because then you got to go out and buy refrigerators, and you got to buy garden hoses. And all this shit that you
Rakes
just,
and
rakes,
fucking-
lawnmowers.
I've
You got to
had
decide
my-
what lawnmower you want.
I've had my house for 2 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if every single day since I bought the house, I spent $500.
Wow.
Just like pots and pans. And then all of a
Wow.
sudden you're buying blinds.
Pots and pans.
And then you're buying.
Oh, there's the
there's the show
refrigerator.
door.
Whoa.
It's cool, but it's not worth $500 extra
No,
dollars.
definitely
no, it's not.
Yeah,
It's just like
ridiculous.
a lazy feature.
But yeah,
No.
appliances and all that stuff. Washer, dryer, dishwasher, all that stuff. Fridge,
Ashley wants to have a
Glasses.
house where
plates.
the water for the fridge is in the door. Like, do you have a thing on the like that? Her
Well,
growing
that's
up
most fridges, isn't it?
when she
Yours
said,
is inside the fridge.
mine's
which is
weird. You have
Really
to
weird.
open the door and then it's on the side
Actually,
wall.
I really like yours, so I got a fridge that does the same thing.
really?
Why?
Because I don't like the look of the water spigot outside on the door of the fridge.
But Ashley growing up, to her that was like she'll have made it in life if she gets in like a fridge that has that.
I've
Because
always
like,
wondered why.
'cause she probably had a rich friend who had that, you know, and she was like, oh, one day.
I'm
And
at
now
the stage.
that's like the most common type of fridge, I think.
Yeah.
I'm at
By
the
the way,
stage
don't
where
drink out
I'm-
of mine because I can't tell you how many times I catch fucking Teddy in the fridge going under the water. And I'm like, get a glass, you little jerk. And he's like, okay. And then he doesn't get a glass. He comes back and does it later.
I'm still at the stage though. It's the exciting stage where I'm excited by all my appliances and stuff. Like I'm happy to go up to my fridge and open the doors. I'm like,
Wait till it fucking breaks.
yeah,
That'll change.
it'll suck. But I used to be in the mindset where I would keep everything. Like say I bought IKEA furniture.
Get
And
this
then-
away from me. This is too good. Get this away from me.
Say I bought IKEA furniture and I had a couple of screws left over and maybe like the booklet and stuff. I'd be like, well, I might need this Allen key one day or I might need this screw. I'll keep it. Then I changed when I moved here. I was like, if I haven't used something in a year, I'll get rid of it. And that kind of worked. Now I'm just like, build. Crap. And I get rid of every single thing that I didn't use. And if I need it in the future, I'll just buy one. I'll just do that way. Because that way you don't have to store stuff.
yeah, I found
Here's the deal. When you need it, you won't remember that you have it.
It's true.
Right.
The amount of
Yeah.
stuff that I kept. And then when I moved out, I was like, oh, that's where I put all this shit that I needed.
I was clearing out a cabinet. I had a little baggie full of those wooden dowels.
Yeah.
And like those little locking screws from IKEA furniture. I was like, why the fuck do I have this?
Yeah.
I didn't even know this was in here.
Yeah, or like sometimes when you buy a new chair, you'll put it all together, and then the booklet will say, keep the wrench because every 9 months you should tighten all the screws. And I was like, I'll do that. And now it's just like, the screw falls out. I'll
Just buy a crescent wrench. And you're
I'll just
done.
use my toolbox. or
yeah.
something.
Just use a wrench.
So yeah, I think it's really healthy just to get rid of everything that you don't need constantly and never have clutter. I'm gonna
I
try and
like
do
that.
When I first moved in with Matt, and we lived together in an apartment in college, we were roommates. The first thing he did on the first day was he said, okay, you know, deciding where the silverware is going to go, that's always a big thing. When you ever go to somebody else's house and you say, like, you open the door where you think the silverware should be, and you're like, they're like, it's over there. You're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Why
what
would
are you, psychopath?
what are you, an idiot? Why would you put it here? But Matt said the first day we moved in, he's like, okay, well, we should determine like what drawer is going to be the junk drawer. I said, the what? And he goes, the junk drawer, where we just like, you know, we throw just random shit in there. I'm like, well, that's a garbage. That's what, just throw it away. He's like, no, that's where you just throw like random stuff, like old batteries and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
never.
like scissors and all
Every
that kind of
house
stuff.
has one of them, right?
Yeah.
But I never heard someone establish what their junk drawer is going to be.
It's a very male thing. There's a comedian in the UK called Michael McIntyre. He does like this whole 5-minute bit on a man drawer. And it's just stuff that a guy will just take control of a drawer and just chuck like an old screwdriver that only works on glasses and take out menus and batteries and stuff like
I have
that.
like 3 of those drawers at home.
You really?
Yeah.
Instruction manuals from stuff
yeah.
you don't own anymore.
One's like paper junk drawer. One
Yeah.
is like useful tool junk drawer.
Old currency that's not even in use.
I was single for like I was single
lot
for
of
like a
Canadian
year and a
coins.
half. You know, between the time I got divorced and when Ash and I were dating full time, about a year and a half in there. I could fit my entire life into the bed of a pickup truck. I really could.
That's impressive.
I mean, like when I had my house, I had like 90% of my drawers were completely and totally empty. I was just like, this is awesome. There's nothing in any of this stuff.
I have a bathroom that's
Now
got.
they're all filled.
I have a bathroom where the sink has, I think, like 5 drawers all around it in a cupboard, and I've got my toothbrush on the top and toothpaste and deodorant. What am I going to put in those drawers? Like ever?
Well, you live with a girl, so they'll get filled up.
We have separate bathrooms.
Really?
Do you really?
Yeah,
What? I guess because if you take
easier.
poop,
We could both like
poop.
do everything at the same time.
Yeah. I often think about
Everything.
2 showers.
I often think about establishing myself in the guest bathroom just because there is one. I think I should probably do that. Just
Like you don't poo in the main bathroom, right?
no, I have a poo room that I
Yeah.
go into.
Is it downstairs or upstairs?
It's downstairs and through 2 doors,
Right,
and so
dampening the sound.
every now and then I'll hear this. Bernie, Bernie. Oh, That's exactly how that works for me.
You should get like red lights installed, like you're on the air. You're like, do not disturb. Serious business going on.
On bowl.
On bowl.
Yeah, ever since Ashley has moved in, I've never pooped upstairs. That's gone
Smart
for me.
idea.
That's over for me.
Yeah.
What if
We
she's
go to a
not there?
hotel, I poop in the lobby.
What if she's not there? Do you poop
It's
upstairs?
really awkward when they don't have a bathroom in the lobby and I just poop at the front desk.
But you don't poo in the hotel room that
No.
when you're staying with Ashley?
Nope, I go down to the lobby.
That's a little weird.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I just do
That
that.
is kind of weird. If she's not home, do you ever put upstairs as like a little treat to
What's
yourself?
that? No, I never do it.
No?
Sometimes I just poop with Joe the cat in the cat box just for fun. For
I have an
bonding.
issue.
Gross.
You think that would scare him? Like, what fucking cat did that? That thing must be massive.
Dude, one of the people that I admire most is not as an actor, but just as a guy, is George Clooney, because he is a renowned prankster. And he used to live with the guy he's the guy that's on Mad About You. He's the guy,
The Paul Reiser?
not Paul Reiser, it's his friend. Who's like, hey. It's like, you'd know the guy if you saw him, but I can't tell you what his name is.
Vic?
No, yeah. And the guy had a cat. And so George Clooney religiously, for like a month, went down every morning and cleaned all the crap out of the cat box. And the guy was getting worried. It's like, the cat's never going to the bathroom ever. And then George Clooney, after a month, took a dump in the
Oh my god.
That's such a brilliant,
my God.
that's such a brilliant mind fuck. And the guy was like, oh my god.
Jesus. That shit was backed up.
I know what the guy's name is, but he did that.
That's so fucking funny.
It's really funny. It's really funny.
That's so gross.
George
awesome.
Clooney. I'm gonna see how quickly that comes up on
So, while you're looking that up, I wanted to let people know that if you're coming to RTX, we have an RTX app,
George Clooney cat box.
which is available on iOS and Android. It's live on the App Store now. You can download it. If you're not coming to RTX, you can still download it if you want. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah,
but
you just wanna feel really
it's got
sad.
updated schedules. We will find out any late-breaking schedule changes, and we'll send you push alerts like
Yep.
hi and butts.
How are you?
So yeah, check it out. It's got the floor plan and a ton of cool features.
Yeah, if
There's-
you just search
how
for-
did they get a video of that already?
Whoa. That's impressive.
It'll be useful
That
for...
Patrick, thank you, man.
Genius.
Patrick is on the fucking ball.
I just saw Patrick lean out and point at his own head.
Yeah.
That was it. That's
job.
amazing. Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
The guy from
It's-
Spider-Man.
It's Richard Kind is the name of the actor. They used to
I
live together.
never would have known that.
The
But
guy
yeah,
Yeah,
He's
but
the
that's the guy.
hypochondriac in Scrubs.
Is this the last podcast we're going to be on before RTX, or are you going to be on next Monday?
I'll be on next Monday.
Okay.
Are we doing one live on the panel?
Yeah. So next Monday we'll do a podcast here. The Monday after that will be a rebroadcast of the RTX panel, which will be on Sunday. So instead of having, so July 7th podcast will be a rebroadcast of the one we do on July 6th.
Can we sit like this? Or do we have to sit on the long table?
You want to sit like this?
This
Yeah,
is going
for
to
the-
be.
No, this is going to be in the Rooster Teeth booth, though.
I mean, can we just sit on a couch and 2 chairs, though? Like, my one complaint about doing the podcast in a line is that I can't see anyone and I can't hear anyone either.
You could always,
Alright.
we could always take 2 tables and kind of bend them like that.
What else?
No, let's get furniture. I'll get furniture.
Okay.
Yeah, just a couple of chairs and a couch.
All right, we'll do it.
My favorite thing about
I
RTX
love
is
sending
everybody-
last-minute
Yeah.
changes to the.
Everybody
we-
requesting things
Assuming
last
I'm
minute.
on it, I don't even know if I'm on that panel,
Yeah,
right?
you are.
All right, sweet.
We have like this long punch list of shit to do. We spent a long time on the phone today. It's just like it describes. There's hundreds of people who work on putting this event together,
Yeah.
and it's like over the course of a week, what are all of these hundreds of people doing at any given time?
It starts on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's like
That's when our
who's going to
production
be,
schedule
who's
starts.
going to move this, who's going to move that, when's it going to be done by? So it's like, oh yeah, I'll just fuck it up.
Yeah.
Now someone has to get a couch and chairs, and they have to put it up. They have to move the tables, put this up, and then when we're done, move this stuff and put the tables back.
Yep.
We'll find it.
Oh, maybe I can donate my sweat couch.
Your sweat couch?
Your
yeah,
couch.
the couch that the movers sweat all over.
Oh.
I will take your couch in my office. I will buy that couch from you at a sweat discount.
You're taking
Yeah?
this one.
No, Barbara tried to tell me today that you guys are taking this.
No,
one.
I am not taking this couch.
I
want
told
this
you he's
couch.
not going to take the fucking
I've
couch.
told you I'm not taking this
So
couch.
let's take his sweat couch.
We'll take your sweat couch. You can have this one.
Do it, let's start the
What
start
is
the
your
bidding
couch?
now.
What is your couch at home? What is it?
It's a 2-seater couch.
Oh, really?
Is it
That-
a settee?
Reclines on both. Is it? I guess.
What does that
Shotgun.
mean?
Shotgun.
What is
It's like glued together recliners. That's what you just described.
It's a
Shotgun.
2-seater where both legs and things go back.
Really?
independently of each other.
What are you, 85, watching the Super Bowl?
Who doesn't have recliners? What are you on about?
You hit a button. Is it one of the powered ones?
You have a couch, a 2-unit couch, where they recline and the feet go up and all that stuff?
Yeah, and the back goes back. You can lie down on it.
That is weird for a 2-seater.
That's weird.
No, and
That's weird.
Not in.
Can you lie down?
Let me ask you a question. Gavin. Who else do you know that has a couch that's like that?
Michael has a reclining couch.
He has a reclining couch.
It's a 2-seater.
It's got like a console in the middle to separate the 2 seats, but it is a 2-seater.
We have couches like
That's
that at
more
home.
common. I see that.
Because that's like 2 seats glued together.
Right. Well, I could have had that, but I was like, I don't want the middle bit.
You guys got like a home theater seat, is what it sounds like.
It just looks like a leather couch from a distance.
And your couch is leather?
Yeah.
I don't want it. I hate leather couches.
Why?
I hate fucking because you can't sleep, you can't nap on them.
Sure you can.
You get all like, ugh. It's just like it's horrible. It's horrible.
You get all like blah, and
Just
then
like,
you can't.
You just like there's nowhere for the heat to go. It's all just like yeah.
Get a blanket for it or something. A throw blanket.
Nah, yeah. That's too
No.
much effort. You just get this. This has got a built-in blanket.
This
a
is
blanket
rock
couch.
solid. Try and nap on this.
What do you mean? It's opposed to leather?
The leather arms are soft. They're like a pillow.
Now, I gotta see this couch. I'm imagining you have
Oh.
a suede recliner.
No, it's just like it's not even leather. It's like
What?
composite-y goop. What
Like
is it?
micro suede. Like the love sack?
No.
Whatever happened to our love sack?
It's here. It's in Brandon's office.
There's
Okay.
one in Brandon's, there's one in animation.
It's not remotely fabricy or suede-y. It looks like leather. It isn't.
It looks. Stop.
No, he mispronounced. He said it looks like leather. It isn't.
Okay.
What did I say?
It sounded like you said it looks like leather isn't. Like it looks like
I have
Like,
no
is it
idea
what?
what
and like
this
of all
is.
the things that leather is, it's on the outside of that Venn diagram.
Leather.
It's all the things that leather is not. It's a feather couch.
So next podcast here. This is this is actually the last podcast for this couch.
Thank Christ. I hate this
Next
couch.
podcast there will be a new couch here.
What we
Goodbye,
doing with this?
couch.
Bernie's taking it.
Yeah.
I'm taking this. This is going to my office.
and we're taking your
Now?
couch.
So this won't be RTX?
We could. I don't care if we take it to RTX.
I might take this one RTX just
Because people are going to be like, hey, I want to sit on the podcast couch, and it's a different couch.
right. Yeah. We'll
It
probably,
should go
we'll
there.
probably
Then when it
take this
comes
one.
back, it'll come back into my place.
I still think we should blow it up or chainsaw it in half.
Oh God. Okay.
You should just do it in his office. Like before he gets here in the morning, just
I'm going
film
to popcorn him. I'll put an airbag in the seat.
use
We
a
talked about this,
phantom
right?
to record a chainsaw cutting a couch in half.
Okay.
Gus and Barbara for their office got a couch. I don't know if you can call it a couch. It's like, how did you guys build that couch? It came in a box.
It came pre-built.
You open the box,
You put
pull
on
the
the legs.
cover out, and then put the cover on the box,
No.
and that's your couch. Because that's what it feels like. You sit on that thing, you're like, hey, Gus, Barb, I'm going to, boom! It's like every time
I
I
can't defend this couch.
This is how I defend it. I was given a shit budget.
we were given a $400
I thought it was $300
$300,
No.
you could buy a comfy
no,
chair.
a $300 budget for a couch.
for a couch.
That's easy.
You bought 2 couches.
try
That's your
try
problem.
finding a comfortable couch for $300. That's
Classic problem. You bought 2 couches. You bought a set.
It came in the set.
I thought, well, I know it came in the set. You bought the set. Don't buy the $300 set. Buy one thing for $300.
You can buy a
What are you pointing
lovely,
at?
comfy. I was shaking your hand like it's
I
a bet.
guarantee 90% of the people who listen to this podcast or are watching it have a $300 couch. Matt and I, we were in college, we had a $25 couch. That thing was awesome.
I'm not. Yeah.
I just look over.
You guys bought.
We should do a contest, comfiest couch, but like on Top Gear, where they have to buy a car for like $3,000 and then make it all good. A couch competition, $300, comfiest couch wins.
Gus and Barbara would
Independent
lose
judge.
that in a heartbeat.
Here's the thing, though. Gus won't buy a used couch.
You
not?
bought
I'm not buying a
a
used
wooden
couch.
plank with a thin scrap of fabric pulled over it.
It's fine. I had a meeting on that couch today.
You're gonna get a hemorrhoid.
Gus is weird about used stuff, and I would totally buy a comfortable used couch, but he won't.
Bed bugs. There it is.
That's our couch.
That's our couch.
Sitting down.
We got
there-
all of
that is
that.
deceiving as
Listen,
shit.
we got all of that. Those 3 items for $220.
$240.
$240.
awful.
a
Sitting
deal.
down on that couch gives an audible thud.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you
let me
don't
tell
want a thud couch.
They have a scenario. This is like the model photograph, like from the catalog of their set that they bought, which has like a little.
It's about an inch off the
It's not
ground.
even quite a love seat. It's like just kind of a little bit of a bigger chair, and then a small couch, and an ottoman, kind of a coffee. It's like cross me now, like an ottoman and a coffee table, and it looks like a futon. It's way less comfortable than a futon. It's like if you saw that picture, instead of sitting on the couch, just plop your ass in that hardwood
Well,
floor.
and the thing is, if it was raised by half a foot, it wouldn't be bad because you would just park your ass at that level on
Right.
it. But because it's so low, you have to really sink. You have to commit, and you go, oof, and it's just compresses your spine.
We
every
just,
time.
your
we
spine
just
goes
need
kunk, kunk,
risers
kunk.
for it, I think. I think we just need things
We
to
should
make it higher
secretly
up.
film people sitting on that couch,
It's
and
the
if
worst.
anyone
It's the
doesn't comment on the comfortability of that couch,
Then you don't have to sit on my fucking couch. Don't come to my office.
don't put
Problem
the World Cup
solved.
in there then.
I think the
Oh,
best part is
Don't
when
buy a
Adam sits
shitty.
on it.
Don't
Play
buy
your
a
World Cup.
Don't buy a shitty couch and then try to take other people's couches.
I'm
That's the
not
thing,
trying
too.
to take this couch.
Barbara is.
You're fired.
And then what was going to happen to your fucking couch? What was going to happen with your?
I would have put it in your office.
Fuck that. Keep that out of my office. Plus, it's like you guys got a denim couch. It's like the weirdest like
It's a
pattern.
weird material.
It is a weird.
But like to be fair, we didn't feel it before we bought it. We bought it online.
So who wants sweat couch?
We do.
Yeah, we'll take it.
You want the leather sweat couch?
Yeah, I'll take some.
Okay, let me see if I get this straight too. This couch that they sweated on is leather, and you're gonna give it away? Just wipe it off.
That's what we just said earlier.
That's the whole purpose of leather. Is like nothing sticks to it.
It's nah.
Except you can't nap on it because
It's
He goes, no. I was very specific. You lay down, and it's like you just go, ugh. It's just like anybody will know what I'm talking about. It's like you get this heat layer.
right, but you're the
Gross.
person who can. You said you can fall asleep within 3 minutes of
Anywhere,
any
anytime.
situation, right?
I'm not saying I can't fall asleep. I'm saying waking up is like I regret. All
What's
of this.
waking up like?
You woken up already at that
It
point.
goes like this. You go. That's the noise it makes when you wake up off a leather couch.
Someone wrote. I guess they were talking about you describing our couch as a love seat. They said it's not a love seat; it's a hate seat.
There you go.
Ah, gosh, that makes sense.
So
a good
thanks
one.
to underscore Zenron on Twitter for that.
You're zen right in this situation.
You are Zen.
Somebody
correct.
on Twitter is telling us they're an interior designer and they can solve all of our furniture problems. Not for fucking $300. You can't. I've met interior designers before.
No,
Jesus
hey,
Christ.
I'll take your help. Email me.
Yeah. Email
Our
Barb.
office needs some help.
Did you get some extra
Obviously
budget
need some
there or
help.
something? Or are you
No.
talking about the remaining
Listen, you
60?
think building out a house and getting the fridge when you got to get the door that opens halfway or the button that goes all the way in? You think that's hard? Fucking office furniture is the most overpriced stuff on the planet.
Depends
Absolutely.
where you
A
get it.
fucking desk, a cubicle that a regular person sits in is like $6,000.
Are you serious? Those crappy cubicles.
Yeah, a cubicle with like the channels that like the electric runs in and all that stuff. Yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, this will be a unit. It does this and that. It'll be $6,000.
But we have loads of
per
those.
station. No, not the ones we don't have.
Oh.
But like in good companies. They have,
Ours are like the equivalent of the couch in my office.
yeah.
How much
you
were
go.
our grey ones?
Meg and Ash, like they sit in a prop closet. Ashley complains
Yeah, they have
about-
a folding. It looks like a folding table that they put
Well,
laptops
they're
on.
gonna make it all decorated, right?
They keep talking
I
about
didn't
it.
realize that this wall was held up by sandbags. The other day, I started picking the sandbags up to use them somewhere else. I was like, these are holding a wall up
Why do we need that wall there?
because they got to put the props somewhere.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
thought the prop was over there, the prop closet.
that looks more like supplies.
What's the difference between props?
We're talking about stuff that's off
Those are
screen.
props
Even
and-
people watching the video podcast can't see what we're
This
talking
is
about.
equipment, like cables and.
We're still
shit.
figuring out the space. That's the thing. Every time we've moved in any office, I've always said, people start claiming shit like, "Where's my office gonna be? What's this? What's that?" Gavin went through some of that with his office because Gavin has an office. It's just like, just don't worry about it too much. We'll just put people in the spaces and then we'll figure it out. Everyone just stay flexible. No one's ever stayed flexible. Nobody ever. It's like as soon as they get their place, they're like, "I'm not letting go."
Yeah.
The worst thing I ever did was I let Joel use my office for a project. I never got. He's got all my furniture from my old office and all my pictures.
He has all your
He
paintings,
took
too.
my pictures from the old office, kept them, and hung them up in his new office.
Did he take the big B you
Yeah.
had on the wall?
He also has that big leather chair.
Yeah, he took everything.
Hi,
he took
I'm
everything.
Bowl.
Bowl.
Nice.
How do you steal a house? Like he stole my place. It's
Yeah.
like usually you take the stuff out of the place. He took my place.
Although I need to call you out on something, Burnie.
What's that?
Oh,
You-
do it.
You went on and on when we first moved here about people always put their computers facing away from the door, so like you couldn't see what they were working on.
That is true.
And you were saying how like, oh, you know, it shouldn't be a big deal. Like people should be able to see what you're working on. Then you, motherfucker, go and get curtains and a door
He
shade.
also-
So
he
fucking
always
happy.
keep
He
everything
also gave a
closed.
shit for putting curtains up.
Yes.
He's like, why are you putting these curtains up? Like, I don't know. He's like, what, are you going to close it? You don't want anyone looking in? He's like, that's horse shit. I have no curtains in my office. I want everyone to
So-
see me.
Well, here's why that makes sense.
So happy now.
When you had just a glass door and a glass window, and I could see everything you were doing, I don't care what you're doing in there, but every time I walk by, I would look in there.
Yeah.
Just because it was a window. I'd be like,
Also,
oh, I don't care. What
This
am I
was
looking-
the other thing too, is that like people would when they saw me in there, they'd go. They'd flip me off in the window. It's like that's
Who did
funny.
that,
You
Bernie?
do that. Literally, Barb. You're thinking I'm talking about you. I'm talking about everybody.
I'm being sarcastic.
Everybody does.
I would tink the zip from my jeans against the window, and then when you look over, I would do zip, and I'd unzip. I did that a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I imagine that was a joy.
Did you ever bunk your knob on it?
I might have just cracked my laptop screen doing that.
Did you really?
I might have. I got a little line. I got one of those little lines. I knocked on my laptop screen.
If you did, that's a $600 mistake.
Shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk about
You
it.
can.
You know, when you crack an LCD and you get that fine line, and you're like, is that a crack? And then it like bleeds over the next 2 days.
All you need to do, close it up, put it in a laptop bag, travel with it on a plane, open it up again, and you'll see whether you cracked it or not.
Oh, really? What the hell does that help me?
Okay, so let's
Fix it.
buy you a plane ticket and send you somewhere so we can figure out whether or not that's broken.
Damn it.
All right, well, it's time to wrap up.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, have you guys tried?
So I want to thank everyone for watching. We'll be back on Wednesday with an episode of The Patch, and next Monday with our last pre-RTX podcast and a new couch.
Bye,
Also,
couch.
thank you to everybody who supported the Indiegogo campagn or has so far. We have 14 days left. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Lots of fun.
Awesome business.
Lovely.
Thank you. Love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Rooster Teeth, the one that everyone else is beneath. Red versus blue, achievement hunter, lots of podcasts too. There's Gus, Burnie, Barbara, Jack, Jeff, and